We are going to, by the way, hi guys, May and Dawn. By the way, happy pre-anniversary to you all. I know you're watching from the comfort of your home. Today, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to talk about recruiting. We know that when the economy is up, what happens to your closing rates? When people have more disposable income, they have less psychological interference with doing what? Spending money. So your closing rate does what? It goes up. When people have more money, they let it go easier, don't they? Okay, so when the economy's up, your closing goes up. Now, when the economy is down, what happens to recruiting? Goes up. So sales and recruiting are inversely related. So in an economy that's doing great, like right now, wouldn't you agree that your skill set on recruiting needs to be better? Would you agree? Yes. By the way, you're supposed to answer. That's right, on your computer, on your cell phone. So so today what we're going to do is we're going to sharpen the saw on your recruiting skills, and we're going to help you enroll more people. And the number one thing, ladies and gentlemen, to be a great recruiter is to be service-minded, okay? Now, when I say service-minded, I mean your job is to convert every single customer into a raving fan. Now, are you going to make sure everyone is happy all the time? Sharing with them all the resources so that they can maximize. So we really have a commitment. And if you are committed to your highest level of service, guess what tends to happen? You can close, you can act like a lamb and sell like a lion. What I mean when I say that, you can be so sincere because you want to help these people, because guess what's going to happen? Once they get the product, you're going to help them. And you're going to keep on helping them. And it is a relationship for you to coach them to a better lifestyle. Does this make sense? Yes. Okay, because I'm going to give you a lot of technical stuff here today, and we're going to be taking a lot of notes. And those of you at home, make sure you print off your notes, because we're going to be rapid firing these things. The first thing we want to talk about is how you can elevate your level of service to your customer. Does that make sense? So we're going to go through a little point check on that one. But first and foremost, let's talk about what some of our recruiting tools that we have, ladies and gentlemen. What's some of the recruiting tools that we have on a dinner? Grab yourself some food, Gloria. Welcome. Would you agree that this is a recruiting tool? Yes. Okay. Now, do some of you have done many dinners, like Megan here, okay, that you probably don't need a flip chart?
No.
You know what? In the name of the game, when I first started in this business, we didn't focus on recruiting people. We started the year at 60 recruits. We ended the year with 61 recruits. I remember I sold four sets on a show. I was bringing out my demo kit, and the guy was carrying my demo kit. He's like, "Hey, how can I get started in this business?" I said, "You already have a job. We're not hiring for part-time." And it was just, that was the attitude back then. But we were so good, we didn't need to use a flip chart. And guess what? Everyone would go, you'd ask, "Hey, what impressed you the most?" They're going, "You." Right? What do you mean? "Oh, you're a good salesperson." I could never do that. You with me? So your flip chart really is a tool of simplicity and duplication. The number one thing you want to do is you want to show people, you know what, this is not rocket science. If you can read and flip the pages harmoniously, guess what happens? You actually can get paid to do this. You want to try? Jacqueline, can you try that for me? Just flip the page. Nicely done. They should tape the back, shouldn't they? Right? You know, with the right training, you could probably get paid to do this, couldn't you? Right? So you're going to have some fun with it, but your flip chart, ladies and gentlemen, use it as a tool. What are some other recruiting tools? Would you agree that the stock program brochure is a recruiting tool? My question to you is, are you using it on your demo? Oh, well, I qualified already. And are you using it on your demo? Sometimes. Okay? This is a tool, ladies and gentlemen. If you've already qualified for your stock program, get the tools, use the tools. Okay, we're going to talk about how we integrate into the demo. Are you using your open house invitation?
Yes.
Okay, and then we're going to talk about how we invite people to the open house. So funny, sometimes people call me to the show and I ask them, "Hey, so did you have fun?" "Yeah, great." How many instant bookings you get?" "Oh, 2, fantastic." "Are there people coming to the open house?" Let me ask, you guys want to come down on Tuesday? We got this open house. You're kind of busy? Oh, no, they're busy. Interesting. Okay, we're going to talk about not just having the tool in your paperwork back, but how do you use this tool? Because this is probably, if you can train your people to be excellent inviters, guess what happens? Now you're presenting in front of more people. Law of averages take place, right? If I can close 90% of the people I cook for, and I only cook one demo a month, am I going to do well in this business? No. Now, if I don't ever bring anyone down to an open house, am I going to grow my business? No. You're not. Okay, so you see how important it is? This is the number one thing if you want to actually grow your business, is train your people how to be excellent inviters. You got that one? Okay, are you writing this down? We're watching you. Thank you. All right, so what if you're doing a trade show? Can you recruit on a trade show or a salad cut or a store booking or anytime you prospect? Yes? Do you have some sort of postcard to do that? If not, we're going to hand out a sample of it and you go back to your dealer and goes, where's my tools? Right? Okay, now hopefully your dealer's watching this live later, right? Okay. And what are some other recruiting tools that we have? We have, let's see, what do we have? Pictures, right? You got pictures in your phone. Pictures in your phone. We told you earlier, right? When you're closing, you always want to have pictures of what? Food, recipes, right? Because that's a story. Okay, and if we're talking about recruiting tool, we're going to have a separate file on our phone that has what? Open house, trips, people winning contest payouts, things like that. Okay, so we will want to have pictures saved in our phone under a file, one for what? Product and one for opportunity. Now, why do we want to carry money? There's two reasons why we carry money, always honest. Number one is because when you don't have money, it changes your psychology. Okay, and when you do have money, there's a feeling of what? Abundance. Okay, not a feeling of scarcity. And so really recruiting is like filling your cup and overflowing your cup. Okay, and so it is good to always carry money. There was a very successful person years ago that told me, always have $100 folded in your wallet. Okay, and guess what? To this day, I always have like underneath. So even if I spend all my money, I always have $100 in my wallet. Second reason why I like to bring this is it is a tool when I'm talking about opportunity that people tend to pay attention to. Okay. So I noticed that when I pulled this out, those of you that were like looking on the ceiling trying to find that fly, all of a sudden they're like, cash, are they giving away cash now? Okay, so this is a recruiting tool. Okay, we'll talk about how we can use that a little bit later. Okay, now we are today. So we're going to go through to start off with the first page that we have here. By the way. Did you do your assignments? Yes? Yes. Okay, so let's talk about it. Who here did the call with their partner? Raise your hand, you at home as well. There's, by the way, 2 weeks, so that's 2 calls, isn't it? Are you like, my partner? My partner died. What happened? What happened to your partner? By the way, anytime you're choosing an accountability partner, doesn't it make sense to choose somebody at your level or above? Okay, by the way, the best accountability partner is always to what? Choose somebody that's a little bit higher so they're going to actually help you rather than you helping them. It needs to be synergistic, but you want to make sure that your partner is always what? Committed, okay? So that if they fall off, you're like, I'm by myself here, okay? Book 5 shows plus. Raise your hand. Yes? 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 Okay. These guys are rocking. They're already done 25 shows month to date. Give them a round of applause. Okay? Who listened to at least 2 ICE calls? Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Okay, good. How? You didn't raise your hand. Sorry. Still sleeping? 9 o'clock in the morning?
No, I work another job.
Okay. You know what? You know when they have earbuds? They have 2 of them. Okay. So when you're facing your boss, you don't put it in that earbud. You put it in the other earbud, and you're just like, yeah, you're like smiling. There you go. Okay, and by the way, if you miss an ICE call, can you listen to the recorded version?
Yes.
You can. When can you listen to it?
Anytime.
Within 36 hours. So if you miss it at, like, a lot of times, you know, the ICE calls I listen to are at 9:30. So if I'm in the middle of doing something, sometimes I'll on the speakerphone or whatever, but I might be on another call or another conference. And so I'll be driving and I'll just listen to the recording because usually it's 12 to 15 minutes. Once it goes Wednesday, guess what? Too late. It's already re-recorded over. Okay, so you really almost have 2 full days to actually take advantage of that. By the way, who here rode a dinner of the best booker in their office? Best book? Come on. What's the most important thing when we talk about the foundation of your business?
They were all
Good. What if you were the best booker? That's me, I'm the best booker. Well, did you watch yourself on video so you can be consciously competent on the little nuances that you do during your demonstration so you can train it better? There's a little bit of wisdom to that, because sometimes we know what we don't know what we already know it so well, we don't really know what we're actually doing right. Okay? Sometimes we actually get to a point where we think we're doing things right, we get off track, and we've been doing it so long, we're going, yeah, I'm right. You got to record your show, you got to evaluate your show. In fact, when you start recording other people and you start we're going to talk about how to do an evaluation later, what's going to happen is all of a sudden you become hyper conscious of the micro details that matter, and you become an even better trainer. Okay? So, who here watched 2 videos on CRM? Good. 2 videos. Courtney, what's going on? See, do you have an account, a CRM account? You forgot your code. No, I'm just kidding. Okay. No, seriously, what you want to do is you always want to sharpen your saw. Right, Melissa? You want to keep that saw, you want to keep it sharp. And the CRM videos, by the way, I'm going to be up front with you, even on video. The first 3, the basic training, are boring. Super boring. But there's 157 videos on there, and you know what? Some are really, 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 really good, okay? So, you know what? Here's the cool thing. As a leader, when you know what the tools are, guess what? You can share them with your people. So if I'm on a show and I notice there's an area of weakness on the plot test, or an area of weakness, somebody with their can't manage the time on this or that or whatever, I already know what the tools are out there. So rather than me and have to spend all that time, all I do is text them the link. Could that save you some time?
Yes.
And then you schedule a follow-up call with these people. Okay, what about who brought 3 people down to one open house, either the Tuesday or the Tuesday before? Good for you guys. Give them a clap. Congratulations. Nicely done. Nicely done. Was it easy? You know one of the best ways is to get people to come down to the open house? Pick them up. So your alternative close is, you don't say, did you want me to pick you up, or did you want to just meet me there?
What time, sir?
Okay. So did you want me to pick you up around 6 o'clock, around 6:15? 6 o'clock's all right. So, by the way, when you're driving to the open house, what do you talk about? 3 things. Salad Master, Salad Master, and Salad Master. That's right. When you're driving home, and by the way, those of you that live in the high desert and are driving 2 hours down here, when you're driving home, there's 3 things that you can talk about. Okay. What do you think? Okay, the first one's Salad Master. The third one's Salad Master. What do you think number 2 is? Salad. Oh, you're amazing. Okay, so really what we have is we have a controlled environment that you can do what? You can share your story, you can give encouragement, you can have a little chit-chat. So is there value in that? Yes. You bet. No, you're like, well, what if they don't buy? What if they don't join? Guess what? You've developed a new relationship, haven't you? And with that new relationship, I can guarantee it's going to enhance your bookings. So it's a no-lose situation. It's talk about planting seeds, watering those seeds, fertilizing those seeds, and the relationships that you have with your people is the most powerful fertilizer there is. Okay? Who worked on their mission more? Good for you guys? Good. Fantastic. Okay? You know what? I'm constantly going back to the basics and looking at the vision, because life changes, and you constantly got to be seeing ahead. Otherwise, what happens? You plateau, right? You lose your enthusiasm. You got to be staying ahead of the curve. If you're going to lead your people, you have to have a clear vision, ladies and gentlemen. Just because we had people come up here and go, oh, I stated it, and then let me put it in a book. No, you got to go back to it. You got to review it. You got to revise it. You got to update it. You got to emotionalize it. Does that make sense? Do you know what I mean by saying emotionalizing? Okay. It's kind of like the difference between setting SMART goals and actually, welcome, glad you made it. SMART goals, the difference between a SMART goal and a New Year's resolution. Do you know what a New Year's resolution is? Something you go, that would be cool. You look at it once, and then in 6 months you go, oh, dang, I fell off the wagon. Right? Where if you have a very specific, meaningful goal, it's something that's emotionalized. And emotion is the juice, it's the power. Okay? So, by the way, who went to Macy's, Sur La Table, Williams-Sonoma, and studied? What's available?
Crap.
Okay. Crap. There's some very expensive stuff out there. Okay, if you haven't done it, you know what? I'm going to really sincerely encourage you to do it. It's the little things that make the difference. You showing up here, by the way, is half the battle. The other half of the battle is conditioning this information. Because there's a lot of little things, and all those little things matter. It's a difference between doing an average job or doing an outstanding job. The difference of making okay money or making an obscene amount of money. And by the way, an obscene amount of money is not a bad thing, is it? No, it's not. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to go online and you need to find your competition, because your competition is what? Anything that is retail or online, okay, or direct sale. And by the way, there's not a lot of direct sales competition out there for our product, okay, but there is a lot of stuff online and there is a lot of stuff in the store. And you as a professional, people will trust you when you know the alternatives. Okay, because we're not there to knock their cookware. We're not there to roll the dice and say, hopefully 1 in 6 people will buy. Your time is way too valuable for that, right? So you got to be an expert in your industry. And if you have that knowledge, people will trust you. And by the way, if you have that same level of expert, they'll trust you to join the business as well, won't they? Right? Okay, so who role-played the features and benefits with their team partner? That's the last time I'm going to Jamaica. Okay, you guys were doing so good and you took a vacation. Anyways, we're going to be getting the team points at break, and we're going to be announcing the winners afterwards, okay? So, if you haven't gone online, I'm going to really strongly encourage you guys to do that. Be professionals in your industry, okay? Now, let's talk a little bit about servicing. We have actually the first page is what? First page is servicing, isn't it? It is. Installation procedure, cookware installation procedure. By the way, can you do this on the phone? It's best in person. Now, I'll give you an example. Say, for example, you've got 2 hours away, right? Because sometimes we do a good show. It's a good lead. We'll drive. We'll do, are you going to drive 2 hours, 4 hours to deliver a set? You could. Okay, yeah, you're trying to get a raving fan, but you want to get articulate at explaining things over the phone, and you can FaceTime certain things. Are you with me? Leverage technology for your advantage, okay? Face-to-face is always best. Now, so ultimately, when you do an install, what's your outcome? Other than the fact of elevating their experience, getting them excited about the product, doing a sale after the sale, reminding them on the fine details of why they invested, book more shows, and what? And you want to start planting more seeds about the opportunity. If they haven't come down to the open house, you want to sell them on why they want to come down to the open house. And you absolutely need to explain the free set program. Are you with me? So when if you're doing an install, you're doing it on purpose. Okay, next point. If it's drop shipped, find out from the office when it's shipped. Okay, so that you know the approximate time of the delivery, so you can call them with a congratulatory phone call. Okay, or call them the day after to make sure they unpack it. By the way, did you know that 50% of the people that receive their cookware, they're scared to open it?
Yes.
Right? You will call the people, you show up, they'll do their dinner a month later, and you go, hey, have you opened up the cookware? I've been real busy. What do you mean? You've been eating how many meals? They're afraid because they're not certain. They don't want to wreck it. They kind of forgot the details. You want to be ahead of that curve, ladies and gentlemen. Because if you're getting referrals and you're hearing all this positive stuff about them on the cookware and you're doing those referral dinners, you're name dropping, you're sharing their stories. Okay? And you'll be way more impactful. Bless you. Nothing is more powerful than great service. So find out when it's being delivered, give them a congratulatory call, and teach them the details. Okay? So when we go there, we install the new, and what do? We extract the old. Okay? So our job is to get trade-ins. Our job is not to get the most beat-up, chipped, rusted, bent, burnt, broken handle pans out there. Our job is to get what? The newest, shiniest, heaviest, highest perceived products, because I am a professional cookware of competitor pans, because if I don't need them, I'm doing what? I'm selling them on eBay. No, I'm just kidding. If I don't need them because I already have a fortified pot sample bag, I'm going to be a leader and help provide them for my team members. Okay, you got it? So, and by the way, why am I having the 304 pans up here? Because we buy them for cheap. Why? Because they're cheap to make, they're cheap to buy, they're cheap to sell. And if you need them in your pot test, okay, we can make an arrangement with your dealer, or if you need to buy, whatever, we can hook you up on that. Okay. Now, so sign delivery receipt. Okay, why do you sign a delivery receipt? Because you're ultimately responsible for that until what? Somebody else signs off from it. Okay. We want to show them interchangeable handle self-nesting lids. Why? Wow factor. How many times have you seen 2-quart saucepan, Joey? How many times have you gone into somebody's home and the cookware is like looking all crazy in there, right? How many times have you seen it where the lids are in one and then the pans are in the other? How many times have you seen it where the handles are upside down? Handles, too. Thank you. Okay? Show them how to self-nest. Show them how the saucepans get put together. Coach them on to put the handles in a drawer there. Okay? This may sound like the obvious, but let me tell you something. It's the little things that make the difference. Okay? So, on your install, you want to talk about what? Washing it in soap and vinegar. Okay? Do you realize that if it's not washed in soap and vinegar and they're frying for the very first time and they overheat the pan, that the color is going to change from nice, beautiful 316 to a golden copper, a golden hue. Okay? It's yellow? No, I call it golden. It sounds better. So when they burn their pan, they go, my pan turned yellow. I'm going, oh, it turned a nice golden hue. It's worth more money now. Okay? No, but seriously, you turn a negative into a positive, but it's going to change the color if they really overheat it. So wash it well in soap and vinegar. Make sure any of the residual manufacturing oils are off. You sign, if you're given a cookbook, what do you want to do? Sign it, right? And then charge them more because your signature is so valuable, right? What you want to do is give your phone number so they always have what? A resource to go back on, okay? Frying. Do people burn? Okay, do people stick? Yes. Do people get spots on the cookware and go, no, I wrecked it? Yes. They have insecurities. You have to anticipate that as a potential objection. You have to bring it up in advance. You're going like, I thought this is all about recruiting. Foundation of recruiting, ladies and gentlemen, is people loving the product. If they question the product, they question the business. Got it? So it starts with them falling in love with the cookware. Okay? So fry an egg. Teach them how to fry an egg. Okay? Show them how to use the powder cleaner with the paper towel. Okay? You may even want to cook their very first dinner. I tell people, you know what? If you want steak and lobster on your install, you buy the steak and lobster. I'll eat it. And I'll show you how to cook it. Okay? So, you want to explain the mediums and lows on the stove. Now, I can tell somebody medium and low, but guess what? And I go, turn it on, and you know what they do? Hi. Right? And that's what they're going to do on their first meal. The valve never clicked. I burnt my broccoli. Right? The medium is too high. Get them to eyeball it. Got it? Now, these are the little things. Cup of vinegar, learning experiences. I'm a phone call away. 911. I always put my phone number now, 911 James. Right? You can call me 24/7. Call me 3 o'clock in the morning, and I guarantee you it's going to go to voicemail. Okay? You want to get them to feel the vacuum. You know what I mean? Yes. Because sometimes, it's so funny. I remember servicing this 20-year-old customer. And I said, what do you love about the cookware? Well, it's high quality and the food tastes better. I go, do you have any questions? She goes, well, I have a problem. And I go, you have a problem? Really? What's your problem? She goes, that darn valve doesn't stop clicking. It drives me crazy, so I stick a fork in it all the time. I go, you're what? You know what? People retain about 20% of what you tell them, if at best. You got to tell them 3 to 5 times the same things. So you've got a fork in there? It's not going into vacuum. Anyways, so you can service other people's customers and adopt them as your own as well too. So anyhow, do the sale after the sale, because it is possible that if they bought the set, by the time they get it a week or 2 weeks later, they might be forgetting why they bought it. They might be doubting why they buy it, and they might have a little bit of buyer's remorse. When we used to actually deliver it in Canada, there was a 10-day rescission. So we would want to deliver it like right away, and we would make sure that we take all their trade-ins so they have nothing else to cook on, okay? And we'd make sure we wash every single pan, okay? We make sure we cook on every single pan so they own it, and then we'd run out the door. And then we'd call them on the 11th day and say, hey, how's cooking? No, I'm actually...
We're sorry. You have reached a number that has been disconnected or...
Okay. That's right. So there is a sale after the sale. You want to let them know that the investment they're making is one of the best investments they've ever made. You with me? Your job is to give them certainty, give them confidence. Okay? And so, did you use this as a guideline? Now, your dealership might have a handout that explains certain things, but you know what? If it's in the mail or if it's like in a package, you go, and they never read it. So that's why you have a job, is so you can explain it. So, for those of you at home, we're going to kick it up into high gear here, okay? The next page is what? This is an excerpt that we've taken from our flip chart, and I'm not going to spend too much time on it, because all this is, it's the same stuff over and over. These are benefits of the business. These are little bullets. These are things that you install into your presentation. Number 1, stock program, healthy business. Learn more healthy recipes. Did you know the top 2 reasons why people want to get involved in this business? It's not money. They want to learn more how to prepare delicious meals, and they want to learn more about healthy eating and healthy lifestyles. Those are 2 top reasons, right? And most people are going, hey, you can make part-time income. Let's do this thing. We're barking up the wrong tree, aren't we? Okay, so we do it at more from a lifestyle approach, more from a club approach, okay? So, you can get more cookware for free. Guess what the number 3 reason is? More free product, okay? All right? By the way, do you want to be recruiting people that are middle income, lower middle income, low income, or upper middle income? No, you might say all of the above, right? Okay, but if you're doing middle to upper middle, you're going to get more credit card, more A, right? Okay, but you know what? When you start getting upper middle income, what are most people going to say? I don't need I already have a job. But you know what? They're also probably, in most cases, they're high W-2 income earners, and they're paying too much what? Taxes. So we need to actually be able to sell them on what? The tax benefits or tax advantages. Okay, we want to talk about fun contests. Okay, every one of you have won a contest here, haven't you? Some of you have won more than others, okay? So the contests are really something that you can get passionate about. Flexible hours, erase your debt. By the way, okay, do most people have some sort of consumer debt? Yes. Okay, the average American has about, I think it's about $8,000 to $10,000 in revolving credit card debt. They already have a job. They don't need to make any part-time income. But you know what? They got consumer debt. Now they may go, we never carry balance on a credit card. But I bet it's very possible that they're making a payment on the car. I also bet it's very possible that they're making a mortgage payment as well too, right? And so I bet it's also very possible that they don't have 6 months worth of savings for emergencies. I think it's also very possible that they're not maxing out on the retirement program. These are all needs. Are you with me? So, people go, their comfort zone. But if we actually know, like a conditioned reflex, what are the primary reasons why people want to get involved, we actually make those as suggestions. Does that make sense? Yes. Okay. And by the way, do people want to work for the rest of their life? No. The American dream is to what? To be able to, retire comfortably with options and freedom. Right? Now, Freedom 55 is now moved up to Freedom 65. Which is going to move up to Freedom 70, 75, 80, 85, 90, 95, 100, blah, blah, blah. That's what it's going to be like. Okay? All right? There's going to be more and more people working part-time at Walmart as greeters because they don't have enough money when they retire. That's a fact. I can give you the stats. So we can talk about retiring early, retiring comfortably, retiring confidently with a nice nest egg. Okay? What about your children? Do you know how much it costs to get your kids into state? Yes. A lot. A lot. Okay? Now let's just assume that you don't have to pay for what? another house, another, all that other residency and all that other stuff, it's probably going to cost $50,000, $60,000 or more a year. Now, what if your kids right now are 10 years old? What's going to happen when they're 18? Okay, well, we know the education has gone up 8 to 12% per year, compounded over the last 20 years. Statistically speaking, it's probably going to double. Woo! I think I'm going to be illiterate. I like high school education. Okay, so the thing is, we got to prepare. We're going to do more to help our who? Children and our family than anybody else. So talk about, being able to retire. These are some of the benefits. You're going to hear these recycled over and over again, but this is just a little reminder. Now this is interactive, okay? We're on recruiting pests. By the way, some of your best recruits are the pestiest people. Okay? And they'll bug you a little, and that's a good thing. The ones that bug you, it's because they're hungry. Right? They want the knowledge. They want your time. Okay, and so here's a couple things that we look for. I can teach anybody skills. I can teach anybody skills, but I can't teach everybody character. Does that make sense? Okay, so what do you think would be smarter to look for? People with skills or? You're good. I heard that. Okay, so I'm not pointing at you, Rod. I'm actually pointing at them. Yeah, I know. You're like, I didn't say anything. Why are you talking to me? Okay, so PPP. What does the P stand for in pest? Sounds good. Write them down. People person. Right? Somebody with people skills. By the way, if you ask somebody, do you like working with things or people? Can't be bothered with people. I'd rather be at the computer all day. Phone rings, I get it to voicemail. Is that a people person? They're going to avoid the phone. Right? So you want, number one, people that get energized. They like being around people. They like engaging in conversations. Right? Does that make sense? Now somebody said another P word. What was it? Passion. Okay, by the way, everybody has a passion. Do you know that? Yes. Now, you're going to express your passions a little bit differently than other people. Okay? But what do you think the primary passions that you're looking for are? Health, cooking,
Helping others,
business, right? Okay. That's another P. Okay, so passion, usually about what? The product. Passion for the product, which is usually health or cooking. That's the main ones, isn't it? Okay, all right. And somebody else said another P. What is it? Purpose driven. They have a why. Patis? No. Patis. Too much salt. So the 3 P's are what? People, person, purpose-driven, passion. What does purpose-driven mean? You have a reason why. Right? So if you're listening to somebody's personal story and say, so why are you getting involved in this business? Well, I don't know. My friend wanted me to get involved. So you got to coach them on their why. Otherwise, they're here for a season, not a reason. Does that make sense? The wind will blow and they'll, why are you here? I don't know. Free food? Why are you here? Music's good? I don't know. Okay? So 3 P's. Okay? What's the E stand for? Entrepreneur-minded. They're people that are business-minded rather than just employee-minded. By the way, most people do not have business or sales experience when they get coach them on the mindset. But they're excited about the idea of having their own business. Does that make sense? They're not just looking like paycheck to paycheck. They're looking at opportunity. They're looking to expand their life. They're looking to provide their family with more. There is a difference. So somebody goes, I did like 2 dinners. Can you pay me money? Right? There's a difference what you got to do, and we're going to teach you this about the law of averages and teaching and selling people on sales. If somebody hasn't done sales before, they have to understand that everything is numbers. Okay? Business is numbers. Sales is numbers. You run the numbers, and you can have certainty and confidence on the results you're going to get. Okay? Entrepreneurship, S is what? Student. Do you like the know-it-all? Right? They go, yeah, I learned that in my last business. No, yeah. Right? And they do their own thing. They don't listen. Are they difficult or easy to work with? They're difficult. You want people that are open-minded, they learn, they take notes. I'll tell you something. Larry Dickman. Has anyone ever heard of Larry Dickman?
Yes.
Okay? He's the most excited guy in Salad Master. In fact, I just listen to him and he wears me down. You know Larry. You worked with him for 7 years. Okay? So, anyhow, Larry is a student. He's taking notes. He's been in this business 52 years. Right? Goes to a meeting, he's taking notes. Right? Listen, learn, apply. Right? See, by the way, I asked some of you, did you do your assignments? What does a good student do? Take notes, review their notes, do their assignments. Or they stay out late after class? No, I'm not going to do it. Maybe I should. Should I? Anyways, okay. And the T stands for what? Team player. You want somebody that's not just about me. It's about we. Okay? It's about being a part of the team, winning for the team. Right? Okay? So, all right. Now, let's talk about where you're going to get your best results from. Okay? Let me share with you. When you're bringing in a new person, you got to coach them on a recruiting mindset. You got to set a goal in the first 6 shows. Okay, that one of those people are pre-qualified as a high probability team member. Okay, so how do you know that? Well, you can roll the dice and say, well, hopefully that happens. Or you can be on purpose. You as a leader, I'm talking to all of you as team builders, as future distributors. Okay, what you want to be doing is you want to be thinking not just about a sole proprietorship. You want to be thinking about a business. Business leverages time through the efforts of other people. And by doing that, when you bring a new person, you have the power of anticipation. So you're thinking about what? Opportunities as well as threats. So the opportunity is, the threat is you do a bunch of unqualified shows. You go, well, that's a learning experiences. No, I don't need learning experiences on shows. Right? If I got a 50 names list, I'm going to coach it down to the top 20%. Does that make sense? The highest probability candidates of what? Customers and potential team members. Does that make sense? So I'm going to do 1 star for a prospective customer, 2 stars as a prospective recruit. Now, if you distill that down and somebody has a 50 names list, statistically speaking, 2% of 50 is what? Oh, but yeah, 1. Sorry. Did I say 2%? Yes. That's hilarious. I meant you should have at least 2. Okay? Anyway, so you hear that? I'm on film. Thank you. So, you should actually have at least a couple people. And when do you want to cook for them? 6 months from now? No, because what's going to happen is when somebody actually enrolls one of their friends in the business, they become more committed. And they get at a higher level of excitement. Now you've got camaraderie. Now they want to show up to meetings together. You with me? Okay. So what do we have? We have a new associate. Okay, people are going to recruit under 2 conditions. The primary conditions people are going to recruit under is what?
They're making money.
Okay, yes, and when they're new and excited. Okay, they haven't heard no enough. Right? They see this business through the baby's eyes. Right? They're excited. Okay? So number 1 is when people are new, and number 2 is when people are experienced making money, and there's usually a gap. Now, don't get me wrong. You know, if you're in the business for a month or 2 months, you haven't brought in a recruit, don't give up hope. Okay? But statistically, that's when you're going to get your most people, in the front end and the back end. Yes. Okay? So what does that mean? That means if you want to get the highest probability recruiting activity is when you get a new person, you want to help them get a new recruit. Okay? And then on the back end, that will take its place. Okay? So we're going to go on for about another 10 minutes, Joey. Okay? And then we're going to take a boot camp break. Yeah, that's right. So a new recruit needs to understand the benefits of recruiting. SBP, fast track promotion. Okay? Now, we know that when you sponsor people into the business, I tell people your first goal is number 1, go solo. Okay? You got to do 6 and 15. Your first goal is to go solo because you're going to be limited until you become independent. We want to teach you. Now, does that mean you got to take a couple steps back and your skill sets are not going to be as good? Yes, but there has to be a point where you become independent. That's your first goal. Second goal is to do what? Get a fast track to 20%. Okay, and how do you fast track? 3 people complete training and sell a set. So from the beginning, people are thinking, SBP, I'm making money, and I got to get to 20%. Because 10%'s okay. 10%'s okay. 15%'s better, but you know what? Somebody can be full-time in this business at 20%. Okay? If they're cooking 4 to 5 times a week, they can make full-time income. Okay? So, all right. And we want to make sure the new associate continues to come to what? Open house. Why? Community, camaraderie, relationship equals retention. Okay? So, if you have somebody that misses an open house, what do? You raise a yellow flag. Okay? Calling is one part, but you got to make sure they're at their next meeting because they're part of the community, part of the team. Right? Team player. You got that? It's all coming together. Now, I'm going to go through this one real quickly. You at home here, point number 2, personal story. We already know this. We already talked about this. A personal story needs to have a dual-edged sword, which is what? What you love about the product and what you love about the business. Okay? And you need to coach your new person on their why. See, if you want to bring in a recruit, they have to what? They have to have a good story, don't they? They have to have a compelling story, and usually that's coached, unless they have some sort of training otherwise. And the second thing is they have to be on purpose. Because when people are on purpose, they're going to be self-motivated. So you usually got to coach them a little bit. And by the way, if you ask them the why, they're going to give you a surface answer. And then you say why, and they're going to give you a little deeper answer. And then you go, why is that? Why is that? Almost like a little child. Why is that? Like Inspector Gadget. Why? You're going to define the driver. And if you find the driver, guess what? Cha-ching. Okay? And most of you here, you need to do your own self-work to find your own drivers. Okay? You have to. Because once you get that, you get on fire and you become unstoppable. Okay? So, number 3. Okay. You want to make sure your demo, by the way, your demo is really your biggest recruiting tool, isn't it? Your demo needs to be fun, right? Fast like no more than 3 hours. Should be around 2.5 hours to closing. Value added meaning you're not getting a lot of going, man, this cookware's expensive. If you're getting that, you're going, okay, I got to sharpen up on my value building and my cost justification. Go back to the film from last week and work on my demo. Okay? But what are 3 things? Write them down right now. 3 things you can do to add more fun into your demo. For my first 2 years, I told the same jokes over and over, and I was the only one laughing. It took me a while to learn to add fun intentionally to my show. Okay? Still using the same jokes, Fana. I need some new jokes. How are you going to get new jokes? Ride somebody's show. When you start training people, by the way, and you actually empower them to do parts of the show, you're like, that's good. I'm going to do that. You know, a new recruit can train you because it keeps it fresh, right? Keeps it fresh. What's something else you can do to add fun on your show? Yeah, interact them, get them involved, right? Throw in that apron. Celebrity chef. I'm a celebrity chef. Okay. What else can you do to add more fun on your show?
Show them some money.
Pull out the money, right? Yeah, do some tricks, okay? So you know what? Just ask yourself those questions. What are some little things I can do to have some fun? And yes, it's good to have 2 or 3 canned jokes that are clean, okay, that you incorporate into your show. Just get people to chuckle, okay? All right. Next point. Coaching the hostess for prospective team members. Double star this one right here because this is money. This is no different than you coaching your hostess to qualify for your show. So I was talking to a new person yesterday, and they had an unqualified show. They're like, what do I do? Like, this person's not good. I go, well, that's like more reactive, but how are you going to do it if you don't want to cook it, if it doesn't seem like they're value or financially qualified? You do a forced cancellation in a nice way, right? But that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about how do I be in front of high probability candidate team members, okay? So what do? We put 2 stars next to them. We say put 1 star next to people that love to cook. We know the CHAMP formula, right? People like to cook, health conscious, age demographic, money demographic, purpose-driven, positive people, right? That's the CHAMP. But a CHAMP on steroids is somebody that could have fun doing what we do. Does that make sense? Who do you know that could have fun doing what we do, and double star that on your referral sheet and make sure that's your first instant booking. So what's coming down is it's almost like your new recruit. You're distilling the warm market for what? The people that are going to have the highest return investment of your time. You like that? Okay, so we want to qualify for recruits. Next point is, how do we invite people to open house? We're going to role play this one a little bit earlier, okay? But we're just going to touch on it right now. There's 3 points. There's build value, take away, commit, remind. So when we talk about building value in an open house, okay, what's the objections that you're going to get for people coming down to open house? That's a long ways to drive, and I'm busy, right? Okay. Now, what if I say, come down to the open house and we'll give you $1,000? What day? All right. How many times can I come? Okay. So really, our time is going to be relative to value. So our job is to build value in the experience. Okay. So we're going to role play this, and this is going to be one of your assignments on how you build value in the open house. Because most people don't do it early, and they don't do it often enough. And because of that, what happens, they invite people and people don't show up. And by the way, the further away you are from the office, the better skilled you got to be at building value, so they want to come. Right? They say you can lead a horse to water, but you can't what? Right? But if you really make them thirsty, you let them drink on their own. So you get them thirsty to want to participate and come down and be a part of the open house. So you've got to build value in the event. Next thing is do you want everyone to come? Yes. No. Okay, now the reason why I say that is because you're like, yeah, I want everyone to come. But if you have that neediness, guess what? When you're like, oh, please, guess what happens? Be my guest. I need help. I'm in a they run. Right? So if you have a little bit of a posture, a takeaway, they want it more. Does that make sense? So an example of a takeaway, you write this down, it's by invitation and reservation only. Limited seating, invitation, reservation only. Now there's what? Value and scarcity. Right? There's less tickets, like, man, we got limited seating. Okay? To commit them, there's only one catch. If you'd like to come, we've got to reserve you a seat today. I can't guarantee a seat's going to be available, but I can if we reserve it today. Okay? And by the way, when's open house?
This Tuesday.
Thank you. You ladies know, right? Right? It's this week, right? It's not like every Monday. If you can't make it this week, no problem. Can't make it next week, well, okay, maybe the week after. Turns to never ever land. Okay? So we got to create urgency, and we do that because it's when? When's open house? This Tuesday, this Monday, whenever you run it, right? Now, and then the reminder is the day before. And the reminder is just like a reminder for a dinner, right? We don't call them and say, hey, is the dinner still on? No. If they've got a seat at open house, you let them know that we've got a seat reserved, food will be prepared, look forward to seeing you, call me if you have any questions or directions. That's it. So that's the higher peak version. We're going to role play this one out a little bit later. What do we do when we get people down at an open house? First thing is, you've all heard the saying, first impressions and lasting impressions do what? Right? They're what people remember. First and last is lasting. Okay? So you want to have a great experience, or a great initial impression, right? So what's the best way when they first walk into your office? Greet them. Right? You greet them and you show them around. You introduce some people and you make them feel comfortable. Okay? So the greeting part is important. Introduce them to team members. Okay? Take them to the display if they're non-owners. Introduce them to the 1 quart, the 2 quart, the 3 quart, the roaster family, the gourmet skillet family. During the presentation, we're going to talk about some things we can do. Okay? But do people like to commit? No. So when it comes down to, the close of the show, people are like, I want to think about it. That's a natural reflex, isn't it? Because people don't like to commit. So when it comes down to the close of an open house, is it probable, okay, that people may want to what? Think about it. They may want to stall, don't they? Okay, so really what you want to do is the easiest way to get them to take the first step is, number 1, encourage them. You can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. Right? If I can do it, you can do it. And number 2, try. Give it a try. And number 3, let them know you're there to support them. Those are 3 things that will make the difference in the closing. Now, the closing is not a power close where you get the Tom Hopkins, you twist their arm, and you use all these magical buzz phrases. It's not like that, right? Most people have insecurity going, I don't know if I can do this. Last time I tried to do something like this, I've got, all this makeup sitting in my garage. But you have that? You have the same garage full of makeup? Just a little bit, okay. So, people have a fear of failure. Does that make sense? So you're there, number 1, you got to encourage them. Number 2 is because they don't want to commit themselves because they got a limited amount of time and resources. You go, it doesn't hurt to what? Try. I always say, what's the worst case scenario? You have some fun, we help you win a free set. Wait a sec. Most people default to positive or negative? Negative. They do. People are conditioned to default to negative responses. So if you want to align with them, talk about the worst case scenario. What's the worst case scenario? You have some fun, you learn some recipes, you meet some new people, and you get a set for free. That ain't too bad, is it?
No, that's great.
Let's try. Let's give it a try. Number 2 and number 3 is do the Jerry Maguire. You know the Jerry Maguire? Not show me the money. That's the other Jerry Maguire. Help me to. That's right. Let me help you. Let's do this together. Partners in health. Why? Because it takes away the fear of failure, the insecurities. I don't know if I can do this. I'm not a salesperson. Right? You with me? Give it a try. What's the worst case scenario? Let's do it together. If I can do it, you can do it. Okay? Now, I'm getting screamed at by Joey here, so you know what time it is. Thank you. Keep on clapping for me. Yeah, that's right. There you go. All right. Done. Sit. Now, by the way, isn't it nice for all those people clapping for you? Doesn't that feel great? They're all applauding. A standing ovation, all of you. Wow. Okay, back to business. Golf clap. I like that one. Okay, you with us still at home? Glad you can make it. Okay. Why are you eating Cheerios? It's dinner time. Put that down and get your pen. Okay, now, let's see here. Open house enrollment. It's a quick recap. By the way, have you ever had an interruption on a demo? Phone rings, baby cries, somebody goes out for a cigarette, guys are hanging outside having a beer, trying to get away from things. We have these distractions that take place, right? Okay, sometimes, dad's got to go pick up the kid from karate or something like that. So we do these things called brief recaps. You can't repeat the whole thing over in 30 minutes, right? So what you do is you go tap, 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 right? So you do. So the last thing we talked about, the brief recap, is when we're enrolling people at open house, we want to make sure when they walk in the door they feel what? They feel welcome, they feel greeted, right? And then when you're doing the presentation, we tell people it doesn't hurt to give it a what? Try. If I can do it, you can do it. And let's do it together. Partners in health. Okay? And so when it comes down to the closing, keep in mind that most people are going to have concerns, fears, objections, questions, blah, blah, blah. We're going to talk about how we enroll at the end. And by the way, we're going to save the best for last. Okay? Because the enrollment process is beautiful when done together with a team member. That's your dealer or a trainer. You and your new partner. Number 7, the stock program. We talked about using the tool. This can be one of your assignments. If you don't have a stock program brochure, get one from your dealer and you want to start using it on your show. Okay, we're going to talk in a moment about the specific language and scripting we use when we're incorporating this brochure into the demonstration. But the stock program, there's 3 parts that we touch on. The first part we touch on is in the beginning, then the middle when we're booking, and then at the end when we're closing. Okay, so there's 3 specific areas that we bring out this brochure. So at the beginning, in your personal story, you incorporate the stock program. One of the reasons why I'm here today is I'm actually getting credit towards getting a set for free. Okay, and what's kind of cool is when you become an owner, your first set is tax deductible, and your second set's for free. And when you earn your free set, you can keep it, sell it, or give it away. Okay, I'm really excited because when I get my free set, I'm actually going to sell it and pay for my first set. Or I'm excited about this program because when I get my free set, I'm going to give it to my kids. Are you with me? So you're kind of sharing and you're giving a real live testimony of this thing. It's not some theory or whatever. This is what you're doing. Okay? Second thing is when you're booking. By the way, people are going to book dinners. Why? The gifts is a third reason why they book. Right? They like you and they want to help you. Okay? Do not underestimate the importance and the humility of asking for help. Right? Because we all need help. Okay? So let them know that you're in a very special contest and you need their help. And by doing your show today, you're actually helping me get credit towards my free set. I've already done 15 shows. I got 15 more to go. I'm at the halfway point. All your referrals are really, I'm so grateful you're helping me this. Can you just kind of put that down there, Jacqueline? Thank you so much. I appreciate your guys' help. Okay, now, guess what? Now she's going to be even a little bit more obliged to do what? Give referrals, get instant bookings, et cetera, et cetera. But also at the same time, I'm making it real because she knows I'm going through the process. Okay? What's the third part I'm going to use this? Is at the end. So at the end, I'm actually going to close on the stock program. Okay? Because a lot of times, the reason why I say close on the stock program, because a lot of times what happens, we explain it, but it's left as a dangling participle. Okay? I'm actually using the stock program as an option to purchase. Okay? And what I mean when I say that is I tell people there's 3 options to get your set. You can get your set, right, GMAC. GMAC. You know GMAC? Not General Motors Acceptance. No, that's for buying your car and your truck. Okay? GMAC is give me all your cash. And we'll happily take all your cash today and more. Okay, no. We do have check, cash, credit card, and if you have the ability to pay up front in full, there is a nice little gift for doing so. Second way you can do it is a monthly convenience plan. What do we call it? Monthly convenience or the monthly savings program. You're like, savings? How is this a savings program? Because once you invest in your cookware, you're automatically saving. And smart people will actually use that savings to actually help pay for the cookware. Kind of makes sense to have the cookware pay for itself, right? So you can get it up front by check, cash, card. You can use our monthly savings program, or you can do what's called our stock program, and that's what I'm doing, okay? Because I didn't have the ability to put it on a credit card, I just did the monthly plan, right? Small amount down, boom, do it monthly. And what I'm doing is I'm having fun, okay? I'm meeting people, I'm making extra money, and I'm going to get a second set for free, okay? And if you want to do that, that's an option for you as well, too. You see how you're closing on that? And so after I explained it, I'll ask them, so, Megan, what would you like to do? Do you like the idea of just writing a check or doing the monthly savings or maybe doing the free set program like me?
I like what you're doing.
Yeah? Welcome to the Salmaster family. There you go. That was pretty easy, right? It doesn't always happen like that, but you'd be surprised at going, okay, great. She goes, I want to get the free set program. Perfect. First thing we're doing is we're going to choose your original set, okay? And you wanted to get the master set, is that right? Because the same set you buy, we're going to help you get for free.
Okay.
Yeah. What? Am I buying something? I thought it was free. Okay. So, but you get them over that emotional hump. Does that make sense? They get them over the mental thing going, oh, okay, you know. And then you work through it. And you talk through it. And they probably need to hear it 3 to 5 times to kind of get it. And they go, oh, okay, so I buy the set, but, you know, I can do a monthly, bless. And then when I get my set, I can keep it or sell it. And if I sell it, I keep the net proceeds. I can put it towards the set if I like. I can make money while I'm doing it and all this other benefits, okay? Like, oh, okay, that sounds good. And you'd be surprised how a lot of people will go, okay, let's do it. You can also reinforce with a story. Now, does anyone do third-party stories? Right? We all have customers. We all go to an open house. We see one. But I had a story where it's a story. Don't start with your stories. I want to tell you a story like a fairy tale story. It's story time. Okay? Recently, we were at a dinner. That's how your story should start. Right? We know that a story needs to be either yours or somebody else's, and it needs to be true. Right? Okay? So can you say, if it's my story, can you say we? Because we're the family, right? We're all in the same Salamaster family. So we were at a show when? Write it down, okay? It could have been last week, last month, last year. Recently is very subjective, okay? So recently we're at a story. You know, how long has the universe been around for? Right? It's been around for a while, right? So last year is kind of recent. right? So recently we were at a show. Who was at a show, Larry? Yeah, we were. Okay. And we're doing the show, and is an elderly couple, very nice couple, and I could see the lady really liked the cookware. She was leaning forward, she was touching the cookware, she was asking questions. I almost thought that she was drooling a little bit. She liked it so much. But when it kind of come down to showing the sets, the husband abruptly said, we're retired now, we can't afford this. And it kind of paused for a second. And she goes, honey, you may be retired, but who cooks breakfast? Who cooks lunch? Who cooks dinner? She goes, you know what? I kind of feel that if we get this cookware, it's kind of like me being semi-retired. Because, I cook all these meals, and I think this would be easier. And besides, we need it. It's healthier. And he turned and he looked at me and he said, James, tell me more about that free set program. And so I explained the stock program again. And he goes, that sounds good, honey. You're going to do that then. And the thing is he turned an expense into an opportunity, because really it was an opportunity to live healthier, be healthier, share the good word of Salad Master, and get a set for free. That's a win-win, isn't it, across the board? So they got a professional set. All right. So anyhow, let's talk about. So we talk about the stock program at 3 points. What are they? When?
The beginning.
Middle, and the end. Okay, so the middle, you get them to fill out the form. In the close, there's 3 ways to get the set. What are the 3 ways? What are the 3 ways? Check, cash, card, monthly savings, or the stock program. Okay, once you explain it, you ask them, which way do you want to do it? Okay? And they go, well, how do I do the stock free? Explain that one again. Even whether they do the stock program or not, you'd be surprised what happens. They buy the set, and then sometimes, they have a disagreement when you leave. Husband's going, we went to Dave Ramsey. We said we're not going to finance anything. It's like, we got a plan for these things, save for that. And, we got this trip coming up. And, really, is this prudent right now? We got the kids' tuition. They're going back to college and all this other stuff. And they get in a conversation. The lady pulls out her card and goes, you know what, honey? I'm going to do that free set program. She never made a decision to do that, but you planted a seed, you let that seed grow, and it came out. A lot of times, if you do not plant those seeds, they come to open house and they're just like glazed over their eyes. So our job in the demo is we have to really talk about these benefits. Okay, are you learning stuff? Yes. Are you excited that you came here today? Yes. Okay, well we're actually almost at the halfway point. Isn't that exciting? Okay, so let's talk about the benefits of the business. The reason why most people join this business most of the time is the acronym MOSTTT. You know that I do like my acronyms because it helps me remember things. Okay, so the M in most would stand for what?
Money.
It's not the money.
Mission-driven.
Mission. Okay, and so the mission is what? That's a company's mission. That's a tagline, right? What is your mission? Okay, that's where it becomes from surface into something that's real. Okay, because this is your business. Are you with me? Okay, and do you make money in this business? Yes. Okay, so you're a professional then. Yes. You're not a volunteer? Yes. Volunteers don't get paid, do they? So you actually get paid. So you're a professional. Yes. Wow. Okay. Now, Mike. Now, by the way, when you recruit people, do you get paid? Yes. Can you call yourself a professional recruiter? Yes. Even if you're an amateur professional recruiter, can you call yourself a professional? Yes. You're like, well, yeah, I'm a kind of a pretty good professional. Kind of a rookie professional. I'm actually a professional. But you want to perceive the image of being a what? A pro. A professional. Be a professional in everything you do, and people will respect what you say, and they'll follow your word. And so you have to have a mission, ladies and gentlemen. We talked about this over and over and over, right? As an ongoing assignment. You've got your mission, review it, revise it, scratch the stuff out, okay? Sometimes what you got to do is you got to go in the backyard, okay, and you got to lay underneath the tree with your little journal, play some classical music, make notes, and you have an epiphany. Sometimes you got to walk on the beach in bare feet, right? And feel that sand and going, that's it. I found the meaning of life. So, no, you gotta get inspired by that. Does that make sense? So mission. Next one, and by the way, is your mission needs to be service oriented. It needs to be you're contributing. You're helping others. Does that make sense? It's not really about you. The most powerful missions is about the betterment of all and the betterment of others. Okay? O stands for what? Opportunities. By the way, people don't want a JOB job. JLB job's just over broke. They want an opportunity for a better life, don't they? And so there's many opportunities in this business. And I say this because most people think opportunities is just career advancement. Okay? Opportunities to what? Learn and grow. That's a big one. Travel, by the way, is an opportunity, but that's another benefit we'll talk about in a second. That's the T in most. Opportunities to learn about healthy cooking, right? That's an opportunity, right? Opportunity to actually to live a life that's healthier than where you're at now. When you speak about it, you bring about it, don't you? If you're talking about health, it's easier to live health. So there's many opportunities. There's opportunity for financial independence, financial freedom, financial abundance. So there is opportunity as an extra part-time income. There's an opportunity as a career, and there's opportunity as a business owner. Does that make sense? There's a machine gun of opportunities. Okay? But when you're recruiting, think about this. We throw it in net. If I'm just looking for the big gorilla, right, that is like, I want to do this thing full time, and I'm like, hungry, and I'm a total pest, right? 100% home run pest. You're going to be very few and far between. But if we throw it a net that has tiny little holes, I'm looking for what? Helpers. I'm looking for professional presenters. I'm looking for people that are looking maybe for a potential new career. And I'm also looking for people that are what? Business ownership. Wow. Now when I throw my net in there, I can pretty much clean up almost everything, right? So what are we looking for? Opportunities for what? Right? Partners. VIPs. We got a VIP program. We're looking for partners and helpers. We're looking for what? Cooking coaches. Companies looking for professional presenters, cooking coaches. Companies looking for managers, team leaders. Companies looking for business owners. Okay? So there's a lot to think about there, isn't there? Okay? So if we want to be a powerful recruiter, ladies and gentlemen, we want to go on the primary benefits why most people want to get involved in the business most of the time. Okay, I'm doing a brief recap for our friends that just came here. MOST, right? So mission, opportunities. S would be what? Stock program. If we know that free set, that free cookware is a huge motivator, we better be talking about it 3 times during the show. T is what? Somebody said travel? Yeah. Part-time. Okay. And tax advantages. Those are the 3 T's. Okay? So if you've not been on a travel club, you can talk about the opportunities for a travel club. If you've been on a travel club, talk about your travel club experiences. Each and every one of you should know some basic tax advantage stuff, which we're going to cover a little bit later. Not that you're a tax advisor, but at least you know something so you can help people feel confident that they can also take advantage of tax advantages. Right? So MOST, T stands for? Right? Right? And when we talk about time, let me share with you about the most powerful intrinsic benefit of BYOB. You know what BYOB is, right? Bring your own. No, that's not what it is. It's be your own boss, right? And YOB is your own business and the pride of ownership. There's something to be said here, ladies and gentlemen, about being proud about building something on your own and being your own boss and having your own business and incorporating maybe even your family and your children and something like that. There's huge 73% of the people in the United States polled aspire to what? Have their own business. Okay? And most 73% of the people in the United States aspire to have their own business. Why? Because of time freedom, because of money freedom, because of all these things. That's the American dream. There was somebody that was telling their personal testimony the other day. He's a rocket scientist from Poland. Pavel. He's a rocket scientist from Poland. He came here, and he wasn't really qualified here to be a rocket scientist. He was in his home country. So he started a construction company. He has 4 children. He's seen Salad Master. Now, do you think that there's a little bit of risk between full-time construction business, right? And you know what he did? He said, this is my passion. This is the American dream. He quit his construction business, and he moved full straight ahead. And a year and a half later, he's a direct dealer. That's a pretty cool story, right? But in his heart, he had what? Be your own boss, the American dream. And I think some of us take that for granted, right? Having your own business. There's people in developing countries, right, where they bite at opportunity. I think we're a little bit spoiled sometimes. Sometimes we actually need to be humbled by what beautiful opportunity we have here today. So, all right, so that's the T's, right? Okay, and dealing with objections. Okay, just write these down real quick. We're going to role play them in a little bit. But what are some of the objections? What's the number one objection you're going to face? I'm not a salesperson. Okay, all right, well, neither am I. I'm just a cooking coach. Right? All I do is throw the food in the pan, right? Chop up cabbage, feed people baking soda. If I can do it, you can do it. Okay? Actually, we'll talk about how we really answer that, but you need to know what the problem is so you can offer the solution, right? Okay? I don't have the what? Time. I don't have the time to do this, right? Now, they might say I don't have the money to buy the cookware, but if we're talking about the business, they might have the objection I don't have the time, okay? I can't what? Cook. I'm not a great cook. Okay, well, you don't have to be a great cook. You know, just throw the food in, medium, click low. Follow the program. I always tell people, I know how to cook one meal really, really good. Fried chicken, veggie lasagna, salad, and a cake. And the cake I'm still trying to get, you know? So it's not rocket science here, ladies and gentlemen. Fortunately, we let the cookware do the work, and we just kind of read the flip chart. You know, that's kind of what we do, all right? So I already have another what? Job or business, okay? And what you're going to find is Salad Master is the perfect complementary business. And I'll tell you why it's the perfect complementary business, okay? Because your biggest market is going to be opportunity seekers, isn't it? And it's a perfect complementary business because we have the perfect referral system. We talked about that as a benefit of the business before, didn't we? Okay, if you talk to some big hitters in direct sales, I mean, people that made their millions and move into Salad Master, you know why they do it? Because of the referral-based business that we have. Because most direct sales, you spend 80% of your time trying people to sell, 20% of your time trying to sell the people you find, right? But if you do this business properly, you can have so much time leveraging through our referral program, okay? So those are the objections, and I don't know a lot of what? People. Okay, well, you know what? I got started in this business knowing one person, and they had bad credit. That's the success story, and here I am today. Okay, but you know what? We moved down from California. We walked away from a multi-million-dollar business, right? We moved into Canada. We moved from Canada to California. Okay, I can't even remember what we did. Okay. But I know because of the referral program, we got started with humble beginnings. The first 90 days was really slow. But what happened is because we knew how to do the referral program. And there's very few businesses that you're giving away $500 gifts and it doesn't come out of your pocket. Almost every business you start, right? 73% of the population want to have a business. They aspire to have a business. But most people don't move forward. 2 reasons. They don't have the money, they don't have the knowledge, and they're afraid of failure. Because they don't know what to do, right? And almost every business, it's capital intensive, right? By the way, you know what? You have a turnkey business. You buy a franchise. Does that guarantee anything? No. I have a friend, you know, he bought himself a franchise for his son. You know who he is, Vanna. Okay, he bought a franchise, a restaurant, a fast food restaurant for his son. Guess what happened? He paid a lot of money for that, and he also pays 7% of the gross margin. And by the way, they audit his receipts daily, so they know how much money comes through the till. 7%. You know how much money that is? That's a third of his profits automatically goes to the franchisee. Plus he had to pay to get started. Plus he had to pay $300,000 to get his equipment and stuff like that. And guess what happened? His son decided that this business was too hard. This turnkey franchise, right? So guess what he got stuck with? A headache. Okay, and I won't tell you, but the poor guy is trying to find the right person to manage that headache. That's a turnkey business, ladies and gentlemen. Just because you get a franchise doesn't mean it's guaranteed success. Most people that buy a franchise, they bought themselves a job, 60 hours a week. And I'm not going to mention any sandwich places. But, you know, the only people in the sandwich places making money are the people with 10 sandwich places, right? A lot of people, they spam their $300,000 or whatever for their franchise, and they're $200,000 or $300,000, $500,000. They take their 401k, they mortgage their house to get a job for $50,000 a year, working 60 hours. I'm telling you, you don't realize this business. You do not need money. All you need is sweat equity, right, and a little bit of ambition. That's it. Okay. So, all right. So I don't know a lot of what. Fortunately, guess what? You don't need to know a lot of people because of a referral program. Okay, now here's the most important thing. In any business, are you going to face adversity? Yes. That's right. You know, every rose has what? Thorns. They do. Occasionally it pricks, it hurts a little bit. So it's important on your journey to success to stay focused where? On the future. It's so easy to get distracted on the obstacles, right? You look down, what happens? You trip and you kick your toes on rocks. You've got to stay focused on the mountains, ladies and gentlemen, because they're out there. Okay? Recruiting is the answer. We know Rita, right? Recruiting is the answer. Okay, so what's going to happen, ladies and gentlemen, is we're going to take a 7-minute pause for the cause, okay? Because we're at a halftime here. 7-minute pause for the cause. Hit the restroom, go do whatever you want to do some push-ups, some sit-ups, okay? And we're going to come back, we're going to finish strong, and we're going to talk about what to say on your cooking show to get people even more interested. So we'll talk to you in 7 minutes. I'm going to kick it up into high gear. I'm going to rattle through some of these things, and it is important. Really, like I said before, you know, you're going to get some good nuggets, but it's not the nuggets. It's what you do with the nuggets, right? And the whole thing with change, ladies and gentlemen, is you wake up in the morning as you. And if you want to be you plus, okay, what needs to happen is you need to add on. Okay, and you need to schedule time, literally daily. Can be 5-10 minutes, right? Those of you that went to college, they teach you to learn, don't they? Power learning, right? You take notes, you do the audible, you integrate, you write it, you study partner. You know, and it's the same thing. Like if you go to school for whatever it is, 4 years, 6 years, whatever it is, you do it for a reason, right? So that you become what? More of an individual, and you can get a better what? Job to make more money, to have better choices and freedoms for you and your family. And really, like, you know, sometimes you got to get up early, stay up later. But why would you ever want to go to work with a dull axe? You have the tools to really have a sharp axe. So I really want to challenge you and impress upon you to be a student, an active student of the business. And when you get an assignment, go, yeah, joy play. Okay? But when you're in school and you got homework, did you get excited? No, because the word is what? Work. Okay? It was interesting. I was watching this video where this guy was totally blown away. He's a Harvard graduate, and he was doing missionary work in Kenya. And what he was blown away about is the children got so excited about homework. They got excited about the opportunity to learn and grow. And so what I want to share with you is have that same level of excitement to be able to collaborate with your partner and internalize this information so you don't have to think about it. It's a reflex, okay? So here's a couple reflexive statements. Really, we want to pique people's interest, right? Really, if you want to become great in this business, you have fun, you pique people's interest, you invite them down. You pique people's interest, you invite them down. You pique people's interest, you plant seeds, you make suggestions, you invite them down. And you just basically filter those from the few that do and those that don't. And then that's it, okay? We want to find what a motive is. And the most important question, there's a gentleman, I've said this already about 4 times this week already. When we were in Jamaica, there was a leadership seminar, and this gentleman, he was floundering around in the business, okay, for several months. And then all of a sudden he said he's on stage, and he's recruited 35 people. He's now a distributor. He's making very good income. And his answer was, he goes, I can tell you in 2 words, okay? The story of my success in 2 words is ask questions. Okay, now we ask questions in the lifestyle questionnaire, but so interesting is a lot of times we don't ask questions why somebody would want to get involved in this business. Okay, so if you can probe for the why, you can probe for the motive, you have motivation. Does that make sense? So ask questions, but what you want to do is you also want to plant seeds, and so we have these things called tap-in statements. So one of the things is a lot of times people don't realize they're having fun unless you make a question. So you guys having fun? By the way, you might have heard me say this at every single training class. You're like, Megan's like, I've heard you say that so many times. You always ask that 3 questions. Are you having fun? Are you learning something? Are you glad you came? Yes, yes, yes. You do that same sort of suggestive statements on a cooking show, and all of a sudden people going, you know what, I am having fun. Yeah, I am learning something. Yeah, I'm glad I came. Okay? You do that right before you book dinners. And you're pre-framing people on the positive nature of what they've just experienced. Does that make sense? You go to a restaurant and a server will come up. You guys enjoying the food? Everything's tasting great? Great. Well, let me know if I can help you out. Well, you were just eating. You weren't thinking, well, yeah, I guess I am enjoying the food. Yeah, I guess everything is tasting great. You getting me? Okay. So you guys having fun? Okay, great. Can you believe they pay me for doing this? That's a great planting a seed, right? I love my part-time business. Right? Say that on your show. I love my part-time business. Okay? And you can also tag it with because. Okay? Now I'm not talking about being inauthentic. Because you're here today because there's things that you love, right? So when you love something, say why. Okay? Another thing I love about this business is, what does it say? Most, right? Those are the benefits. The mission, the opportunities, the stock program, the time freedom, the tax advantages, or the travel, right? So can you remember the most? Yes? Okay, perfect. Okay, and I'm just curious, would you guys like to earn a set for free? Yeah. You're planting seeds by asking questions. Does it make sense? It's so elementary, ladies and gentlemen. It's a good one. I should ask that. I'm trying to sell the set. Maybe I should ask, would you like a set for free? It's kind of counterintuitive, isn't it? Okay? So, by the way, and this is what we said, referral recruiting, ask. Okay? Who do you know? Don't ask, do you know somebody that would like to sell pots and pans for commission in the evenings only? Part-time away from the family when you can be doing something better? And sometimes you don't sell. Okay? So, all right? Who do you know? Don't ask, do you know somebody? Who do you know that could have fun doing what I'm doing? Who do you know that could have fun wearing this apron? And by the way, if your show is long and boring and full of lectures, they're not having fun. So that question doesn't work. Who do you know that would like to lecture people? No, just kidding. All right, so, okay. Now, by the way, do people like compliments? Yes. Now, your job is to look for something to compliment. First of all, something to compliment in their home that they have pride of ownership in. Okay? And then what you want to do is you want to compliment a personal characteristic. Okay? And by the way, a nice compliment is somebody's personality. Okay? That's a really nice rock. That's a beautiful ring. Your husband must love you. That's not the compliment you want to give. Okay? A little bit too direct, a little bit too personal. Okay? But you do want to compliment on a characteristic. You'll always compliment on something that's nice in their home. Okay? Here's an example. You've got a great personality. You could do great at this business. Man, you're such a good cook. You know, look at you use that salad master machine. You should be working with us. These are just mere little tap-ins, mere little suggestions. But give people a compliment in advance, okay? All right, and sometimes you have to be conscious of that because you're in your head and you're thinking, okay, what do I got to do next? What do I got to say next, right? So think about the compliment. Next, qualify a question. Do you love your job? Don't ask a question, do you like your job? Because everyone's going to say, yeah, it's not bad, right? But if you ask people, do you love their job? They're going, well, you know, means to an end, it's making money. And that's your opening. I love what I do. Right? Do you love your job? Here's the next question. Have you ever considered owning your own business? Beautiful question. Yeah, really. What have you considered doing? Have you considered owning your own business? Great. What business? Tell me about that. What prevented you from getting started? You with me? Ask questions. Okay? So, here's another question. What would you do with an extra $300 to $800 a week? I'm not asking a question. Do you want to make extra money? Because what's going to happen is by asking that question, you're going to get people that are what? Maybe like desperate. You know? Like you can't get a job. Right? What would you do with an extra $300 to $500 a week? All of a sudden, you're digging for the what? The why, the motive. Okay, what would you do with an extra? What would you do with an extra $300 to $500 a week? And by the way, you wait, you listen, and if they don't respond, saying, would you have any credit cards you'd like to pay off? Are you maximizing your retirement fund? Right? Are you able to enjoy the family vacations, right, once or twice a year on a regular basis? What would you like to do? Have you ever considered getting a new car, upgrading your kitchen, accelerating your children's education fund? And by the way, do you notice I've repeated these things? Yes?
Yes.
Okay, and that's what you're going to do with your study group. Okay, these are the same benefits. Doesn't matter the business. They're the same benefits that people are going to want to go do something other than be with their family or hanging out with their friends. Right? Okay, so trial close, takeaway. The reason why I ask, by the way, are you looking at bringing everybody on board? No. Do you have the time to train everybody? No. I'm glad we agree with that. So you're looking for what?
Selected ones.
Yeah, you're looking for some pests, right? Don't say that. I'm looking for what? 1 or 2 key people right now. Okay, looking for 1 or 2 key people right now. Okay, and can you guarantee them a job? No, it's not a job. Okay, but you can guarantee them an interview, right, to meet with your dealer, your mentor, your boss. Okay, here's another question. If the timing and opportunity were right, would you at least want to learn more? That's a pretty powerful one because most people are not going to say no. They're going, sure, it doesn't hurt to what? Take a look. Doesn't hurt to take a look. So if the timing and the what? Opportunity were right, would you at least like to learn more? Sure. Okay. I'll check it out. Doesn't hurt to take a look. Okay. So we want to set an interview. Now, you want to come to the open house. If you don't run an open house, set a 3-way interview. Okay. If they live a long ways away, worst case scenario, you can do a Zoom meeting. Right? You know what a Zoom meeting's like? A Skype, right? You just, everybody gets on the same page. You have a little chit chat. You see if they're a suspect or a prospect. Does that make sense? Do you know what I mean? The difference between a suspect and a prospect? Yeah. Somebody that really is not necessarily has the pest characteristics we're looking for. Okay? So, always call out at the end of your show. Okay, why do you call out at the end of the show? What if people aren't buying? Well, you don't know if they're buying or not. You just think they're not, right? But what if they're not buying for sure? Call out at the end of the show. Why? Because that's what we do. Right? What it is, it's a built-in mentorship relationship. If you do it, guess what happens? The people you train, they do it. And it is a behavior that is conducive for accelerated learning, okay, and identifying problems while they're small, and offering your experience and your assistance and leveraging time. Okay, but the worst case scenario is you're going to get people to what? Go for more bookings, think a little differently, think outside of the box. Oh, I forgot to invite the people to open house. Maybe talk to the customer, give them a warm invite. Does that make sense? Yeah. So a lifeline at the end of your show is foundational for success. So here's the question, okay? I want you to put triple stars on referral recruiting questions. Question number 1, who do you know that what?
First, passionate about health.
Passionate about health. Who do you know that enjoys cooking? Who do you know that could use an extra
3 to 800
on a part-time basis? So you notice by asking those questions that people are going to think of somebody, right? Now if I go, who do you know that would love doing what I do? I'm not sure. But who do you know that loves cooking? All of a sudden it opens up mine. Who do you know that's into health, that's passionate about health? Who do you know that you think would have fun doing this or could enjoy earning an extra $300 to $500 a week on a part-time basis? Okay? Can't guarantee a job, but I can do what? Guarantee an interview. Did you learn something on those plugins?
Yes.
Okay. These are stuff you probably need to write out. Right? You got to write this stuff out, and then you got to speak it, and then you got to record it, and you got to hear it, and you got to role play it with somebody, and you got to integrate it. Because the difference between you making this amount of money and this amount of money is the number of demos that you do in any given day, week, month, or year. The difference between this and this is what? Amount of demos. But guess what? You can really only physically do probably 5 to 7 demos consistently in a week. So you need the help of a team. Okay, so these are skills that are a must if you want to grow a business. Now, stock program. Okay, this is a bit of a recap here. Okay, so there's 3 parts where we tell the stock program. What are they? Beginning, middle, and the end. Now, if you don't say it right, okay, you say the first set is what? Tax deductible, and the second set you can earn for free. Now, do say earn for free. So your first set is what? Tax deductible, meaning you invest in your set. It's a tax deductible investment. And your second set, what? You can earn for free. Now, when you get your free set, you can what? Keep it, sell it, give it away. Then ask the question. What would you do?
I'd sell it.
You'd sell? No, you're so close to getting your free set. What would you do with your free set?
Well, I'll replace it because I already gave my daughter something to take to college.
Oh, her daughter took her cookware. That's good.
Cooking for all her team.
It is, isn't it? Okay. So, you know what? You're going to find that a lot of times in the beginning stages, people, especially if they're baby boomers, okay, they're going to want to do what? Get it for the kids, right? Because the kids are going to college. The kids, maybe they're at a generation that maybe they can't afford. So they want to give that gift of good health to their family. Okay? Keep it, sell it, okay? Or you can actually use it as a business tool, can't you? Right? One for home, one for business. One thing that we do with the stock program, and I think a lot of people are now doing, is that giving people the flexibility is if you keep it, you can actually exchange it for equal value, whatever you want. Wow, isn't that exciting? So I only got a master set, I convert my master into a chef. That's kind of cool. Right? Keep it, sell it, or give it away. Okay? What would you do with it? Once again, asking. Okay. So, you said sell it. Okay? My question is, why would you want to sell it? Well, so I can pay for my first set. They give me an answer, what do? Congratulate them, compliment a good decision, smile, stick out my hand, and welcome them to the Salad Master family. This is a very nice soft close for recruiting. Okay? Now there's 3 ways, there's 3 things you can do when you get your set. You can what? Keep it, sell it, or give it away. Now after you explain, what do? Ask a question. What would you do when you earn your free set? Oh, I would sell it. Great. Well, what would you do with the money?
I would I would pay off my first set.
Welcome to the Salad Master family. What a great idea. My only question is, did you want to get a small or larger set for free? Okay. Well, choose your first set. What you want? This big one or that big one? See how there's a different mindset, isn't it? Okay. So tell them and then ask a question. All right. So let's talk about this in point form, okay? We're going to blaze through this, okay? So, at the beginning, you tell your what? Personal story. We love about the product. We love about the business, okay? You want to thank them for what? Because they're helping you earn your free set, right? Okay? And then get them to sign the brochure, okay? So, and then you explain the program. You know, just by me doing this, I'm going to get my set for free. Now, after the meal, okay, we do the same thing, right? We talk about the stock program, okay? And then when we're showing the sets, there's 3 ways to get the cookware. What are the 3 ways to get the cookware? That's what. Okay. All right. Now, once you explain those, okay, by the way, you got to explain them eloquently so you really answer their questions. Right? We go, yeah, you can pay upfront cash, you can use monthly plan, you can do the stock program. What do you want to do? You got to explain it, right? So, they go, okay, so you explain the stock program. Your first set, you can do what I do. You do what I did or what I am doing. By the way, if I'm training, you can do what Amelia's doing. Right? Amelia got the professional set. She's earning her second set for free. Okay? So how would you like to do that? Would you like to do what Amelia's doing or just kind of cut a check? So it is a close. So you ask a closing question, what do you do? You wait for the answer. Now, when you're explaining selling the set, it's very important that you explain it clearly. I like to use the word net proceeds, okay? Because, it's got to be a qualified set sale, okay? And it doesn't usually come with gifts, okay? So it's best to say net proceeds. Now, it's also very important not to over-explain it. All you're doing is you're explaining it generally, piquing their interest, booking another appointment so they can get the whole picture. Does that make sense? Yes. I'm going to say this very clearly. Most people are going to make a decision to get involved in this business after 3 exposures. Okay? Your job is to pique the interest, plant the seed, and what? Set the appointment. Make sense? Okay? So, very rarely do you do a demo and you go wham, bam, home run. Okay? They buy the set, they decide to join the business, they fill out their paperwork, bam. Okay? So, you book the appointment from the appointment. You never leave an appointment without what? Booking another appointment, right? So I'm booking another appointment by getting the hostess on the phone to book appointments for me, or I'm booking another appointment to visit with her. I'm booking another appointment for her to come to open house, or a cooking class, or a courtesy visit. Does that make sense? Right? Never hang up the phone, never leave an appointment without what? Booking an appointment. Because, sometimes people need 2 or 3 or more exposures before they feel comfortable and confident for all their questions being answered. Okay? So, by the way, use the word part-time in all your language. Part-time, 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 part-time. Okay? Part-time, sometime, anytime. Okay? Part-time, sometime, anytime. 3 ways of saying part-time. Okay? So, all right, let's talk about tips of the stock program. So what do we do? What's the first do? Do what? Too many people prejudge. You'd be surprised. Some of the best people in this business today, I actually prejudged. I thought, nah. They got a beautiful home. Nah. They're not hungry enough, right? Sometimes they're going, man, they'd be good, but you know what? We're like lazy. You can't prejudge anybody. You're like, oh, really? Does that happen? Right? That one's going to be a good one, right? But they don't show up. The reality is, ladies and gentlemen, you can never prejudge based on anything. The way people look, the way they dress. Well, if they're totally unprofessional, beer belly or something like that, and they got hair down to their kneecaps or something, maybe that's a little different. I haven't shaved in 14 years. By the way, how long has it been? A month? 14 years? No. Just, I'm giving you a hard time. So, all right, don't prejudge. Got it? Okay. So, always book for the next open house or always book an interview within 72 hours. That's what your key is, okay, whether they buy or not. We're usually closing 3 times on the sale, okay? If you're closing more than 3 times on the sale, you need to work on your demo because your demo is the close, okay? If you're beating them up too much at the end, you're not going to get another appointment. They're not going to show up at open house because they're going to be afraid of that. Open house means I have to make a decision to buy, okay? So if they're not buying this, we have 3 sales. What do? We sell them this. We have 3 sales. What are they? Bookings, right? The hosting gifts, right? The product and the opportunity. So if they are genuinely concerned about spending money, okay, I'm going to try 2 or 3 times, and then what I'm going to do? I'm going to shift my sale and I'm going to start talking about the business. But I'm not going to hammer on them buying the set tonight if their buying temperature is like 6 out of 10, because it ain't going to happen. You're just going to scare them away. Just switch your sales and start giving them confidence, giving them more information about the business. Say, why don't you come on down, check it out. Doesn't hurt to take a look. Who knows? It might be the best thing that ever happened to you. I never seen myself doing this, and I'm sure glad I did. It's been a wonderful blessing, and it's been an incredible experience. You know what? And personally, I think that you guys have some potential. You know, you've got a nice personality, you love to cook, you're passionate about how. Check it out. It's worst case scenario. You get a set for free, you have some fun, you meet some people, make some money. Ain't that bad. Check it out. Right? And that's the kind of real soft sell approach. And if they're not interested in that, guess what? No problem. Let's book some shows, help you get some stuff for free. It's a different mindset, isn't it? Okay? So, don't what? Don't try to explain the entire program. By the way, you know, we got the Fast Start program, and, you know, your dinners start counting from the very first dinner, and then the clock starts ticking, and you run out of 90 days, and you're kind of SOL, and, you know, but really, they got to be qualified dinners. We get you the CRM, and you got to watch these videos. Don't watch videos. Don't cost, you know, and, you know, I hate CRM because, you know, when you go back, you know, and it's like, oh, it didn't save, and oh, I got to re-enter it, and it's like, oh, you got to come to open house, and, you know, it's like, you know, it's usually fun, but, you know, sometimes boring, you know, it's like, but you usually have a training class, and we have a lot of content. Don't oversell. Please keep it simple. The key is, how do we make something complex and make it as super simple? Don't get into stock program addendum. Okay? Do what? Share the stories of other people. Man, we're just at the open house the other day. We gave away a master set. Okay? Just a couple open houses ago, we gave away 2 free sets on the stock program. You know, I actually helped somebody recently get a professional set. If they can do it, you can do it. Okay? Don't what? This is a big one. Put a star. Don't imply that we're going to pay for their set. Don't imply that we're going to deduct it from their commissions. It's totally separate. It has to be separate. This is a law. It's a legality. It's an FTC thing. Okay? Anytime there's a sale and recruiting involved in the same thing, it is a separate entity. People, because they buy, doesn't automatically get them involved in the business. Okay? So, do explain the stock program where? In every home. And when you deliver the set, what do? You explain it again. Repetition is the mother of skill. Sometimes people got to hear it 2 or 3 times. Right? Okay. And don't what? I already said that before, right? That's how important it is. Okay. And do what?
Do not talk about the program.
Do talk about it at the beginning, in the middle, and the end of every show. Now, let's talk about tax advantages. Okay. Joey, you like saving money on taxes? Okay, by the way, this is a bonus. Those of you at home don't get this. I'm so sorry. Okay? These people are paid subscriptions here. Okay? Anyways, by the way, I forgot to announce the boot camp winner, didn't I? Ooh, remind me to tell this. But here's something that's cool. It's a little dated. But the only point I'm going to make here, you can read this a little bit later, but this is the home-based business tax times. Okay, what is this? If you open up in the center here, what this is from, oh, it's upside down. One of the top 5 accounting firms, they did a comparative analysis of a home-based business of a single income with no children, and a married couple with 2 children with a different household income. This is just a sample to give you an idea of how much money you can save when you can deduct things, okay, particularly business expenses and income splitting with your family members, okay? So this household is no kids, single income, making $32,000 a year. They have a part-time home-based business. Based on these suggested expenses, they would save about $3,200 in their first year on taxes. Okay, and there's suggested areas where they can deduct their car, their gas, you know, part of their rent or their mortgage if they have a separate room, et cetera, et cetera. Over here, with their married, guess what? When you're married and you have children, you have one advantage, is you can income split, okay? And the information on here is outdated. The information I'm going to give you is updated. I'm not a tax attorney. I'm not a tax advisor, full disclosure. This is for educational purposes only, okay? Now, this example right here is a $75K household income, married couple, 2 kids. Guess what? Can your kids send emails? Yes. Can they prep dinners? Yes. Can they lift your cookware to the car? Yes. Okay? And can they be paid for that? Yes. Okay, is that a good thing? Yes. It's a lot better you paying them with pre-tax dollars than post-tax dollars. If your tax rate is 28%, which by the way is kind of an average federal rate, and your state rate, by the way, California is really high, say it's only 7%, that's 35 cents on every dollar is going to the tax man. And by the way, I love this country. I will pay my fair share of taxes, bless you, and not a dime more, right? Because it is the law for me to pay as much as I legally am entitled to, but no more. Okay? But the average, believe this, and this is a sad truth, this is by the tax auditor. Okay? Good old Sandy Botkin, okay? He actually trained IRS tax auditors. Now he's an independent that trains business owners basic law of taxes where you can actually use it for your advantages, not the IRS or the state's advantage. Here's the reality. The average American pays more than $4,000 on taxes per year because of ignorance. Ignorance is not bliss. It's expensive when it has to do with taxation. So with $7,500 a year, joint income, 2 children, okay, some income splitting tagged onto that, that's a savings about $7,400 a year, okay? This is why your upper middle income W-2 earners that don't have a business need a business. And I'm going to share with you something very interesting. I went to a demo one time, okay? And it was a boarding demo. And I'm downstairs, and it's a training demo. And the people are upstairs, and I'm waiting. And I'm waiting. I'm like, maybe we should call them. Like we're in their house and they're not here, okay? They're getting ready. I'm going, oh, maybe they had a late night or something. And then like 20 minutes later, the hostess comes down and she goes, oh, Salad Master, oh, I'm so sorry. Like I wanted to get a set, but right now is not a good time. So there's no need to do a demo. I'm going, oh. I said, no, that's okay. You know, we get credit for doing the show, and, you know, Mary's in training, and we really want to just kind of share this with you. Worst case scenario, we can help you get some gifts. Okay, sound like fun? She goes, I guess, but my husband's not here. I go, I thought he was upstairs. Oh, he went to the gym. I'm like, okay. And I'm like, I just drove for 45 minutes to be here early in the morning, right? And I started asking questions. And I said, well, I'm curious. You already knew about Salad Master. What do you know about Salad Master? Well, I know it's good, this, that, but I just also know it's not the right time. I'm curious. Why do you say that? He says, well, we just paid property taxes on one of our houses. Okay, so one of our houses. That means what? Yeah, they got multiple houses, multiple streams of income, right? And I said, I'm curious, okay? Do you find that you tend to pay taxes on a regular basis? Silly leading question. Yes. Would you like to maybe find a way that you might be able to recapture more of your hard-earned income and potentially pay less taxes? She goes, what do you mean? I said, well, what we have here is a business. Okay, we have a product, but we also have a business opportunity. Okay, and there potentially, as an owner, if you wanted to kind of go through our training program, we can help support you in developing a business. Not only can you get an extra income stream, but you can also actually start deducting certain things and pay less taxes. And all of a sudden she goes, tell me more. I trial closed her already on a small set before we even fried the chicken. So frying the chicken was a formality. We didn't even do a pot test. When she was eating chicken, I was telling her more about the business, writing up an order. So she went from, I can't afford to buy it, where I'm now buying it because I'm a high W-2 income earner paying way too much taxes, and she got educated that she needs a business. Does that make sense? So all of a sudden, we're now a little bit more dynamic. We're not in the cookware business. We're 51% opportunity business. And we've seen a need. We've seen a problem. We offered a solution. Okay? Now, what we're going to do, we're boot camp, ladies and gentlemen. We're getting down to the last 40 minutes. Let's get some music there, Kip. You're like, that's crazy. Why am I clapping so hard? Have you ever been at a opera? You ever been at an opera? How long do they clap for? Oh, your hands are so sore. It's like 20 minutes. Like, really? Was it that good? Was it really that good? It's like my hands are hurting. I'm telling you, 20 minutes. So that wasn't bad at all. So give yourself a round of applause once again. All right, let's go on. Okay, so what we have here is just a tool. Isn't this a tool? Okay, it's a little bit dated because tax year every year changes, okay? Here's what I'm going to recommend. And for those of you that have this at home, basically certain things. I'm just going to go through this real quickly. Okay, too many people work harder by doing overtime or getting a second job versus working smarter by getting a business. Okay, you with me? So what we are is we're professional recruiters, ladies and gentlemen. And we have a tool here. At the beginning of your show, I'm going to give you a little tip. You know you have 3 objectives, right? What are your 3 objectives at the beginning of your show? Vanna?
To show them how to get some free gifts for referring people.
Okay, free. Now I'm listening. And?
Assist them in owning the best set of cookware they could buy.
Yeah.
And show them how to earn easy $300 to $500 a week part-time.
And earn another set for free. Okay. So basically we're there to book, recruit, sell, right? In our terminology. But when we're talking about to recruit, okay, here's what I'm recommending. Come from a different perspective. Okay? It was very interesting when I started doing this on my cooking shows, people kind of looked at the demo at a slightly different way. So I'm here to what? Show you how we can help you get some gifts for free. I really want to impress you. We're going to have a good time. You can get $500, $1,000, $1,500, maybe up to $2,000 in free stuff if you feel excited about referring your family and friends. We'll talk more about that later. Second reason why I'm here is I'm promoting, obviously, Salad Master Cookware. It's the best product on the market. It pays for itself. The third reason why I'm here is I'm not your regular cooking coach. Write this down. I'm not your regular cooking coach. In fact, I'm a professional recruiter for the company. By the way, are you a volunteer or you're a professional? Volunteers don't get paid. Do you get paid? So automatically, guess what? You're a professional recruiter. Okay? So I'm not your regular cooking coach. In fact, I'm a professional recruiter for the company. So actually the primary reason why I'm here is the company is expanding and we are looking for some people in different areas. We're looking for helpers. We're looking for professional presenters. We're looking for some people that want to move up into management very rapidly. We're also looking for business owners. Now, this may or may not apply to you. Takeaway. All right? I state who I am. I state my purpose. We're looking for 4 types of people. What are they? Helpers, presenters, I like to say professional because that sounds good. Okay, and people that want to move up to management as well as business owners. And I've been in homes where beautiful multi-million-dollar house and they're like, pots and pans, I don't need to sell, I got no to buy pots and pans. But when I talk about business ownership, all of a sudden they go, that's interesting. And they listen in a slightly different light. So, professional recruiter. Okay, I'm not your average what? Cooking coach. Okay, right now the company is looking for these types of people. Okay, you may or may not be that person. Okay, so while I'm doing the show, ask yourself the question, could I have fun wearing this apron? Or who do I know that could have fun wearing this apron? That's a pretty strong opening statement for a show, isn't it? You're like, I like that one. Practice that with your people. The professional recruiter opening. Okay? You may or may not be that person. But as I'm doing the cooking show, ask yourself, could I have fun wearing this apron? Or who do I know that could have fun wearing this apron? So you'll open up with that. So with the tax advantages, ladies and gentlemen, home office. Okay? Partially A percentage of your expenses of your home can be deductible. Income splitting. By the way, whether you like Donald Trump or not at this particular point, you should love the tax advantages by your personal exemption going up to $12,000. Do you know how big that is? When you have children between the ages of 6 and 19 that are capable of sending an email or doing your social media campaigns. Okay? Can you fund an IRA for your children? Is it taxable? Non-taxable. If it's a Roth, it's post-tax. If it's an IRA, it's pre-tax. You don't put $5,500 right there. $12,000 plus $5,500 per child. Is that a pretty cool thing? That is savvy tax planning, ladies and gentlemen. When I started this business, I'm going, I need kids. The guy who sponsored me got 4 kids. Anyways, that's a joke. But vehicle, every year it changes. There's a format. If you buy the vehicle, it's depreciated. If it's leased, it's 100%. Partial business, partial personal. The easiest thing is 54.5 cents a mile used for business. And there's apps that can do it for you. It's so easy. 54. Every delivery, every cooking show, every meeting, right? 54.5 cents. Drive 100 miles, guess what? $54.50, right? Drive 1,000 miles, guess what? Woo! I'm liking this business, okay? So, your food, by the way, your demo food. What about your prospecting food? Is that tax deductible? Yes. What if you invite a friend over for dinner with the intention of prospecting them to do a show or do the business? Yes. Okay, here's the deal. It must be, this is not a hobby business because there is a hobby business clause. Okay, it must be with the intention to make a profit, right? Whatever your expense is should not be a problem if it's documented and there is a pursuit for profit. Now, it doesn't mean you're going to make profit, okay? But if I invite these people because we're hosting a fundraising party and I host these people over my home and I know who's coming over to my home, I'm going to mention the word salad. Okay, repeat after me. Salad master. Every time you go out for dinner, lunch with a friend, what word do you mention? Salad master. Keep the receipt and write down who, what, when, where, why on the back. That's it. Documented. Okay, the people that have audit issues or concerns or fear, it's because they don't document properly. That's one thing you're going to learn. This book, Sandy Botkin, all right? Lower taxes, big time. Every year, a new edition. This is the most money you'll save. Amazon. If you don't have it yet, you need it. Okay? So, when it comes down to travel, can I write off my trip to Hawaii? Yeah. Yes. Okay. I can because I'm always working in Hawaii. All right? But if you're going to Hawaii to have fun with your family, can you write that off? No. If you're doing a demo, it can be partially written off. Okay, IRS ruling, basically, if you can sandwich it in, the day of, the day before, and the day after is a legitimate write-off. Okay, but let's just say that it's a 5-day vacation and you got in the 3-day sandwich in, you got something little going on each day. Is 100% deductible? If it's sandwiched in, it is. Right? But if I go for 2 weeks, I'm only doing one demo. Maximum I can do is day before, day after, day of. So it'd be partially deductible. So these are some gray areas that it's good to know what I can deduct. Again, I'm not a tax advisor, okay? But I've spent a lot of money for enrolled agents, tax attorneys to give me advice to structure our business and our income so that we can legitimately, morally, ethically, and legally pay the least amount of taxes and be happy, okay? So, can your fun be tax deductible? Well, we're in a fun business, right? There you go. Okay, flip the page. So I'm not going to get into the fine details of that. You can review it later. That little newspaper thing, I recommend you read that because it's just another example for you to understand how authentic and real having your own business is. Okay? Now, open house invitation. Here's what's going to happen right now. We're going to go through a role play. This is a tool. Remember, there's 4 steps, okay, to the invitation process. Step number 1 in opening people. By the way, when do you invite people at the open house? Well, you can actually do a subtle invitation at the beginning, but chances are they don't know enough about you, the product, the program, to really go, yeah, sign me up, unless they're your friend. right? So usually it's right after they eat, before the pot test. So you book the shows, you invite them to open house, you do the pot test. Does that make sense? Okay. So, but really you plant the seed at the beginning. And there's two things you bring out at the beginning. Well, you bring out the lifestyle questionnaire, you bring out your open house invitation, and you bring out your referral sheet. Those are the things that are on the table at the beginning. Those are your paperwork on the table. This is not hidden. So you plant the seed, and I actually learned this from Reno, okay? But I just, first of all, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for inviting me to your home. And one of the things I have here is a gift for you. By the way, do we all like gifts? Yes. Do most people refuse gifts? No, they accept them. And then if they don't like them, they re-gift them. Right? So I want to thank you. I have a gift for you. It's an invitation for the two of you to come down to our open house this Monday. Okay, I'll get you seats right up front, evening of food, fun, and prizes. Okay, so I'll fill that out a little bit later and we'll get you confirmed and we'll reserve your date. Okay, so I open up with that. You with me? And they're thinking about their what? Their gift. Okay, but when I'm actually doing the invitation process, I have to build value in it. If I don't build value, they're going to be busy or it's too far. Okay, so the steps are I build value, so you've got to explain it well. And then you let them know that it's what? Is everyone invited? No. It's by what? It's invitation and reservation only. We have limited seatings. You get them confirmed. The only catch is we got to reserve your seat tonight before we leave. Okay? So when do you do that? After they eat, before the pot test. Book your shows, then invite them to the open house. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to hand you out one of these invitations. Now, if you have, oh, sorry, I thought they were already being handed out. If you have an open house invitation for your office, fantastic. If you don't, talk to your dealer and say, I need one. This is just a tool, okay? All right? And the wording may be a little bit different at your open house, and that's okay. Okay? So, what I'm going to have you do is I'm going to have you go to the person next to you, follow the script, and read it like a book and invite people down to the open house. You with me? You people at home, you have the script. You can read it out aloud to yourself. If your dog is next to you, read it to your dog. If your kids are going to sleep, invite them to the open house as well. Okay? So turn to the person next to you. Okay? Invite, build value. That's your job. Get them excited about the opportunities of the food, fun, prizes. Go! Alrighty then. So, what did you learn? So, what did you learn? Got to build value. Okay? If I just walk up to somebody on the street and say, hey, you want to buy $5,000 worth of cookware? Okay, what do you think 99 out of 100 people are going to say? There's no what? Okay, so people are going to value their time. They're going to value their money. Their time is the open house. So we have to build value of the experience. What is it? Open house is it's an experience, okay? And we have to make sure it's worthy of their time. Now, we talk about the food. What else we talk about? The fun. We talk about the prizes. We talk about the free, okay? So, is the food good? Yes. Most people think the open house is like another dinner demonstration. You got it? Okay. So we have to say this is totally different. Paint the picture. See, when you come down, there's music, there's people. You have a seat, studio style. We got this cooking stage. We cook like 4 or 5 different dishes live. In fact, you might even get pulled from the audience on stage and be a celebrity chef. And we might even be filming it. Well, maybe we won't film it. Okay? But it's just an incredible... The food is a huge buffet spread. Paint the picture. You with me? Sometimes, what are some of the food themes? I go Asian infusion, low carb, keto, fat-free Mexican, diabetic friendly, etc., etc. Does that make sense? So you're talking about the food, you're getting people excited about the food. And then you get to sit down, enjoy the meal with friends, and we explain to you the free set program. And just for coming down, you get a nice gift, sell the gift. Okay, every office a little bit different. We're spinning a wheel right now. We change it up all the time. So, with that being said, there's also little points of the opportunity. And by the way, okay, you can also learn more about making extra income. okay, and earning a set for free. So the primary reason they're coming is what? The experience. Because this is a what? This is a gift. So you present it as a gift in the beginning, and then what you've done is you build value before you invited them, after they eat, and then you fill the card out, okay? And then you remind them the day before the event. Does that make sense? Yes. Role play this out, because all you got to do is pique their interest and invite them. Pique their interest and invite them. Plant some seeds, talk about a few benefits, and keep on inviting them down. Okay? So, flip the page. Do people have questions or objections about the business? Yes. Okay. So we're going to go through these real quickly. So, we don't have the what? Time. Okay. So, what's the easiest way to answer an objection? Kind of, yeah, you know, you got to empathize, you acknowledge, and you answer it somehow. In fact, there's only 3 ways to deal with an objection. Do you know what the 3 ways are? You ignore it, okay? And no, you laugh about this, but, you know, it's just like a knee-jerk reaction. Like, you know, you come down to the end of the show and you go, so you like the cookware? Yeah, I like the cookware. Okay, if it fit your budget, would you be interested? Sure, you know. And you show the sets and they pick the set and then you go, so what set do you like? Oh, we got to think about it. It's a knee-jerk, right? Right, so the first you go, okay, great. So you like the professional set. You want to get this. So you ignore it, okay? At the end of the objection, if it's just a reaction, a knee-jerk, what do? You ignore it. Second way is you do what? You answer it. And the third way is you what? Challenge it. Okay? Now, some people aren't okay with challenging it. Okay? But a challenging of the objection is if you previously answered it and then bring it up afterwards as an excuse. Okay, and you're just like, really? Come on. Really? Right? You just don't even go there. Okay? So, but what we're talking about here in most cases is what? Answering it. Okay? So this could be objections on the demo. It could be objections at the open house. But the primary ones you really need to get good at is I don't have the time and I'm not a salesperson. There's a couple other ones. We already have another business, and I love that one. That's my favorite one. Okay? And there's a couple more here, but when somebody says I don't have the time, were you thinking about doing this business before you seen a demo? No. Okay. And do you have a lot of time? If you're like most people in Southern California, you spend half your life driving, so you don't have a lot of time. Okay. And sometimes you sleep, and then in between you drink coffee, right? So you know, I know how you what. I felt the same way and this is what I found, right? And tell your story. That's it. You got it? Empathize, tell your story. Okay, you can start on a very part-time basis. It really isn't that a lot of time. How much does the demo take? About 3 hours, right? You can do this what? You can do this like 5 hours, 8 hours, 10 hours a week, okay? By the way, what's easier than part-time? Yeah, you can do part-time, you can do it sometime, you can do it anytime. Do it very part-time. You choose it whenever you like. Okay? Imagine. They go, I don't have any time. Say, well, if you watched 2.5 hours less of Netflix every night. No, just kidding. I didn't say that. Time is relative to what? The benefit, isn't it? Time is relative to the benefit that we're going to receive. Okay? And so if you could earn an extra $20, $30, $50 an hour for your spare, do you think you might be able to spare an extra 5-10 hours a week? That's a trial close. Now, am I making income claims? This is very important. I'm not making income claims. I'm asking a question. If you could earn an extra what? $20, $30, $40, $50 an hour for an extra 5, do you think you might be able to 5 to 10 hours a week? I'm not talking like a big deal here. This is 5-10 hours a week. Wake up an hour earlier every day. Go to bed an hour later every day. That's what we're talking about. Okay? And this is my favorite. This is a nice saying. You can always find time for what? Things that are important to you. Isn't it true? Something's important, you make the time. If I give you a free trip to Hawaii, you're going to, I'm too busy. No, you're going away. Okay, well, I got to shuffle my schedule, see if I can make this work. Okay, so this is going to be an assignment with you and your partner. You guys are going to role play this stuff because you got to speak it, you got to hear it. You're going to learn by hearing it, and you're going to learn by speaking it. You got to do it. What's the next one? I'm not a what? Okay. Do most people that start this business, are they like, have a big sales background? No, they're passionate about the product or they're passionate about cooking. That's pretty much how most people get started. So can you say the most successful people in this business did not start with sales experience? Can you say that? Okay. Can you say when demonstrated properly, the product sells itself? Yes. That's my favorite one. Okay. Why is that my favorite one? Because I was a really, 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 really bad salesperson when I first started. I was, they say there's 4 levels of knowledge. There's being unconsciously incompetent. Okay, that means you don't know that you're really bad. Okay, that's where I was. I was unconsciously incompetent. And then what happens, you go through a basic training, you become consciously incompetent. Then you know you're really bad, right? And then you start learning, and then you become consciously competent, meaning you know what to do, but you're in your head and you're thinking about what you got to do all the time, right? And then there's, unconsciously competent, right? That's kind of a level where you just kind of show up and ta-da, right? Showtime, okay? And so, really, when demonstrated properly, the product is what? When the product is not demonstrated properly, what happens? It doesn't sell itself. You got to be a salesperson, right? You got to pour on the heat, okay? So, and by the way, why do people say I'm not a salesperson? There's 2 reasons. They tried sales before and weren't successful, or they have this image of who a salesperson is, right? And if most people think of what a salesperson is, what do they think they are? Pushy, conniving, fast-talking, unethical, right? Or something like that. Okay? They might have these references, okay, what a salesperson is. And you know what the reference that I give to everyone, okay, and I do this because I believe it, is I think that we're in one of the most honorable professions on the planet. The reality is if commerce stopped just for a couple hours, guess what would happen? Everything would fall apart. It would start in California, okay, because we're like the, 8th largest economy in the world. And all of a sudden there would be a peter down effect. Everything would shut down in the US, Canada, and the whole global thing will just... We keep business going. We keep productivity, we keep tech, we keep innovation. All this stuff is because somebody sells something, somebody buys something. And you know what? We're at the echelon of this because we're representing the best of the best, and we're representing something that's a durable consumable. We're representing that people will have every day of their life. We're representing something that has had such a profound impact on their lifestyle. We need to be proud at representing this. I mean this sincerely, okay? So in Jamaica we say, respect, okay? Respect. Yeah, man. So when demonstrated properly, the product does what? Okay, so all you have to do, and this is kind of silly, I get silly about this. All you got to do is read the flip chart, throw chicken in a pan, chop some cabbage, feed people baking soda, right? And it's kind of like, do you want to cook on your pans or do you want to cook on this? And they go this, and you go, okay, what's set? So the only training really is kind of like what's set and what gifts and how to fill out the paperwork. But we'll teach you, and it's fun. Okay? So, and you know what? Here's the most important person. What's the final point? It says, we can do what? We can what? Work together. I'll help you until you can help yourself. Is that going to give people confidence? Yes. Don't recruit anybody unless you plan on helping them. Please. That's a recipe for disaster. Okay? So, next point. We're already involved in another business. That's my favorite. Why? Because this is the perfect complementary business. Repeat after me. This is the perfect complementary business. Do you know why? Because most people have a good product or a good service, but they don't have enough customers. Okay? This is true marketing. The free dinner program is the most perfect door opener. Right? Cooking class, it's a good old door opener, isn't it? Okay? The gift program, nobody gives away the gifts that we give away. Now there's other direct sales companies that give away a gift. but it's a piece of plastic, right? And some of you have some of those pieces of plastic that you got for free from other companies. Okay? This is a $500-$600 gift. This is big. Okay? I'm already involved in another business. Okay? I know how you feel. If you were yourself, say, hey, I was involved in another business, da, da, da. But here's what I loved about it. It's perfectly complimentary. You meet so many new people. Okay? Now I'm going to pose this. Okay? Has anyone ever sold real estate or bought something from a real estate agent? Sure. Okay, that's everyone that's owns a house, right? Okay. So, a lot of people are part-time realtors in California, and it's one of those things, they either make money or they don't make money, right? They go through a training program, they learn how to fill out a contract, and all of a sudden, ta-da, I'm a realtor. Okay, now I just got to show 1,000 houses, and hopefully somebody's interested, and hopefully it doesn't get kicked out of escrow from bad credit. Okay, and hopefully they don't jump and decide to buy another house or in somebody else's list. So, it can be a stressful thing, right? Because they got to run numbers. It can be a month without a sale. Okay? But it's not what you know. In most businesses, it's what? Who you know. And how many people can you get to know in this business by taking them out for dinner? People go to these networking things, right? Let's get up and go to BNI. Get up at like super early in the morning, switch business cards, go to the Chamber of Commerce, run around chasing people, giving business cards. Hopefully they'll remember. You ever gotten business cards and you're pulling through them? You're like, who's this? Have you ever had that happen? All the time. You're like, where did that come from? Who is this person? Right? But you sit down and you have lunch or dinner with somebody and you get their card, you go, you remember, don't you? That's what we do. We develop relationships. So this becomes a perfect complementary business. And by the way, you know what? After you cook them dinner, they get involved in Salad Master. Maybe they need your supplements. Right? Doesn't hurt, does it? Doesn't hurt. The only thing we ask, of course, is a code of ethics, is you don't try to sell everybody in the organization and start cross-recruiting and things like that. Common sense, right? So, all right, I already have another business. What if I don't sell? What do you do? No. That's not the objection. Got to read this thing, right? What if I don't sell? What's your response? That's going to happen. At least half the time. Is that okay? Yes. We're not there just to sell cookware, ladies and gentlemen. We're there to book shows and help people get free gifts because that's how we do it. Some will, some won't. So what? We're just out there to have fun. Okay? All right. Now, can't afford, oh, by the way, somebody says, I'd like to do this business, but I can't afford to buy a set. Has that ever happened? Yes. Okay, what's your response? You redirect it with what? A question, right? So somebody says, I don't know if I can afford to buy a set. I can't afford to buy a set to do the business. So your response is, are you concerned about spending money or making money? Okay, and here's the reality, and you might have to practice this, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to be a power recruiter. But sometimes you got to redirect people's thinking. Okay, so if somebody goes, we can't afford, I'm like, I feel for them. If they can't afford $100 a month, what else can't they afford that's important for them in life? And that's the reality. I'm not trying to embarrass people, right? But what else is important that they would like to provide for their family that they're not able to? Okay, this is sincere. And I'm going to level with them. I'm going to say, hey, listen, guys, you know what? I never seen myself doing this, but this is a lot of fun, and it's an amazing vehicle. And if you're concerned about money for this, right, you need to take a look at this. Notice how you turn it around? Whatever the objection is the exact reason why they need to go ahead. Does that make sense? Yes. I can't afford to get the set. That's exactly why you need to get the set. I don't have the time to do this business. That's exactly the reason why you need to take a look at this business. Does that make sense? Yes. Okay. So, all right. Flip the page. We're coming down to the wire. I'm so excited. This is a tool that most of you won't use. If you're a dealer or a distributor or a team captain, team leader, I highly encourage you to review this with your dealer because what it does do is closure. Okay? A lot of times what happens is I've recruited from newspaper ads, and I know Cooking for Life does a lot of that stuff. I've done interviews with 60 people in a room that never heard of Salad Master before. That's pretty wild. Okay? And, I've done open houses where people are invited to join versus offered an opportunity. There's a little different, right? The bottom line is there has to be a closure. Does that make sense? Yeah. So, great. Show up for training if you like. We'll see you later. There's got to be a call to action, and the most important thing is you have to distill it down to a commitment. Are you with me? And so this exit interview is a nice linear process where you ask questions, and the most important thing is you're eliciting their why. Are you with me? You're not like, I want you to join, I want to recruit you. Okay? You actually go through a series of questions. So let's work through this together. It's a 3-way interview. It only takes about 5 minutes, but if you do it, it's money. Okay? So, name of the talent scout, name of the sponsor. Okay? I'm curious what interests Modus about this business. And listen, and if they don't give you an answer, what do? Right? You make suggestions. You ask a question, they don't respond, you make suggestions. Is it the stock program, the free set you like? Is it the opportunity to own your own business? Is it the fact that you're representing the best product? Is it the fact you make extra money? Like what specifically do you like about this? You like the Fast Start program, you like the freedom and flexibility of time, you like the contest that we have right now where you can get a free MP5. You make the suggestions. Make sense? Okay, and so here's the next one. What does the next one say? What are how many reasons? 3. By the way, you've seen the scales of justice, right? Yes. So, okay, all of a sudden they're thinking, well, I don't know if I have the time. This is kind of fun. Got to think about it. You with me? I really like the cookware, but I've got this other stuff going on right now, and the kids are blue. So all of a sudden you're doing, what do you like best? This. What do you like best? This. What do you like best? This. All of a sudden the scales, the benefit outweighs the cost of what? My time investment. You like that? So they're selling themselves, and what are you doing? Let me make a note of that. Okay, so if they start cooling off, you just remind them of the reason why. The carrot and the stick. You like that? Okay, so again, you need to memorize the benefits of the business. And what are some of the benefits? What are they? Max out your retirement savings. By the way, how much is that? Well, if it's just an IRA, it's what? $6,000. 55? Okay, if it's 401k, what is it? 18, 19,000 depending on your age, right? But if you have a SEP IRA, that's where you can get 25% of your W-2 income. Okay, which can be quite healthy. Okay, so you can max out. If you're doing this thing right, you can actually put away $50,000, $100,000 a year tax-free. Okay? So, are you maxing out your retirement savings? Next point, are you what? I just like that word, dissolving debt. Pay off debts just sounds negative. Dissolving your debts. Okay? What's the next one? Kids through college. Okay, there's a thing called the 529, which is a tax deferred as well too. All of you that have children should be maxing out on your 529. Why? Because it's tax-free. And you get tax-free growth on it. Why wouldn't you want to? Because, the biggest sin, I think, is when kids go to college and they get stuck. The average American now holds $11,000 in debt. The average adult. You may not have that debt. That means somebody else has $22,000. Okay? This is amortized out by the average adult in the United States. It's the biggest problem that we have in this country right now is education debt. And I feel so bad for the people after they go to school. Hanging in on me? Need coffee? Okay. Okay. What happens is they go to school, they're blood, sweat, and tears, and now it takes them 7, 8, 10 years to pay off the stinking student loan. It's usury. It's terrible. I would never want to put my children through that. So max out on a 529. Why not, right? It's tax-free. Okay? What else do we have? Family vacation. You know what vacation most families do? Next year. Yeah, we're going on vacation next year. Next year's vacation. Or it's like, man, there's nothing wrong with camping. But sometimes it's kind of like, the backyard camping in the backyard. Kids were going camping in the backyard. Okay, pop a tent. Okay, anyways. So, you know what? What specific products do you want for free? If you got a new recruit in the business, say, let's go to the display and let's find out what you want for free. They're going to get excited, right? Once you know what their hot buttons are. Maybe they're charities. A lot of people say, you know what? I don't need to make more money. Okay, well, if you did have extra money, what would you do with it? I'd give it to my church. You know, there is a lady that worked with us. She's in Africa now, but she worked with us for 18 months. And you know what 100% of her commissions went towards? A charity for clean water for the children that she was working for. 100%. Is that beautiful? That was her why. That was her motive. That's what she was driven by, was to share, to contribute, to give back. Okay? So we elicit, we make the suggestions. And then here's the question. Any questions? Do you feel with the right training you can have fun doing this? Okay, if I gave you an assignment to do 6 shows with your friends and family, quote unquote champs, is that something you can do? Next question, is there anything holding you back from being 100% committed to get started? Now I'm eliminating objections right there, but before I'm going through the objections, what am I doing? I'm getting them excited because I already found out their why, and they're getting excited themselves because maybe they didn't really know what their why was. You with me? Okay, this is how we close on recruiting, ladies and gentlemen. And then what you do is you just go, congratulations, welcome to the family, and your recommendation. Maybe they're just a booking partner, maybe they're just a hostess, maybe they're a bona fide recruit that starts training tomorrow. Yeah.
Is this implemented like after open house?
Yeah, ultimately, that's best. But if it's a chaos and there's too much stuff going down, what you'll want to do is you can do a 3-way call, or you can get them. You can do it on the first training class. Right? If they bought a set, you can do it on the install. There's, and by the way, it works best 3-way. Okay? So try to get your dealer or your trainer involved or your distributor involved in the process. Last thing I'm going to talk about here. Actually, there's 2 things, isn't there? You know what? I'm going to talk about retaining people next week because this is powerful. This is like, I've already given you guys a lot of stuff here today. This stuff on retaining is incredible stuff. Okay, but let me talk about evaluation form. The most money you're going to make in this business is being an effective trainer. Okay, and most training takes place where? In the home. Thank you. In the home and on the phone. Okay, now we do a multitude of trainings. We do group trainings like this. We do one-on-one trainings, but where the rubber meets the road is field trainings. Okay. And what we need to do is we need to develop a habit of helping people become self-sufficient. And how we do them is we let them fail. Does that make sense? You can, excuse my French, the word is bastardize the dinner. Okay, but you can really do a terrible job on the dinner, burn the cake, serve raw chicken. I think you did that on your last show, Joey. Served raw chicken and they joined the business. They bought a set and joined the business. But, you can destroy the demo. And still, as long as you have rapport and there's strong enough reasons why, somebody can just step in, bingo, bango, bongo. It's not that hard. So let people mess it up. It's not going to make a difference, okay? But here's what does make the difference. Making notes on purpose. Now, I've done this so many times, I just get it on my cell phone. But I'm going to ask for you to follow a template. Why? Because it's for duplication and consistency. This template right here, ladies and gentlemen, okay, it breaks the show down into 7 different presentations. There's an opening, there's a flip chart, there's a cooking, there's a eating, there's a pot. So eating is a presentation? Yes. What you do during the eating should be intentional. There's the pot test. There's the little things that make the big difference, and there's the big things. If you don't get them, you're done, right? Next one is showing the sets, closing, and the next one is a quick little summary. So as we're going through this, it says fair, good, or excellent. Just a general tick, okay? Please understand that you do not want to beat a new person up. I've seen people taking 42 pages of notes with a new person, and then they sit down and they have a coffee with them later and tell them everything they did wrong, and the person goes home and cries, and they go, I'm not right for this business. I'm not good enough. I'm not a salesperson. You with me? Does this make sense? The way we give feedback, ladies and gentlemen, is we chunk it up to what's most important. Who cares if they put too much or too little water in the carrot test? Doesn't matter. Who cares if they turn their skillet on 450 right at the beginning or 150? Doesn't matter, right? When somebody's brand new, we want to focus on what's most important for them to improve first, okay? But you can rate it, but here's what's most important. It's not the grading, it's the meeting after the meeting and the assignments you give to people and the follow-up after the assignment. So there's multiple stages in this, okay? So, all right, can we role play this? Les, again, Okay? So we're going to role play this one. Okay? And I got to be close to the camera here, Jacqueline. So, okay. So we're sitting, there's not, well, me. Okay? So Jacqueline, I've got the notes here. By the way, we give feedback in a sandwich. You know what that is? You know what a sandwich is? Right? It's not bad. There's never any bad in a sandwich. A delicious sandwich has a nice keto bun, soft, right? And then you have cheese, you got your meat, you got your vegetable, right? You got a few slices of this, and then you get a nice cushy bun, you know, right? Maybe a pretzel bun, maybe a potato bun, right? Whatever, okay? So it's you open with positive, you close with a positive, you give 3 to 5 points of constructive, not a machine gun of massive criticism, okay? I've seen some people just destroy people with their feedback, okay? So, all right, so we give the feedback, we say, okay, Jacqueline, I just want to say, by the way, this is what you did great. The food came out amazing, your cake, oh my God, that was awesome. I can't even make a cake like that. Your technique on the Salad Master machine, superb. It was like you're doing this for 5 years. I'm impressed. Now, how does she feel? She feels, now this is not a technique, okay? It's sincere. But I have to build her up so she accepts, you know, the feedback that is less than perfect. This is your areas of improvement, the most important that we're going to work together to improve. Are you ready for this? You promise not to cry? Okay. All right. Okay. So I'm going to say the most important thing is when we executed the referrals on your dinner. Okay? What happened is you put the referral sheet out and you just gave them the pen and then you walked away. And then what happened is they didn't fill it out. And so really can I make a recommendation? What I'm going to recommend that you do next time is coach them through the process and get those names. Because once they discover the people, okay, first, then it's going to be easier for them to call later. And we're going to get more instant bookings for you. Sounds good? Okay, great. And then the second point is on your pot test, right? You notice on the pot test how one wasn't boiling and the other one was boiling a lot more? What am I doing? I'm just talking about common things that are normally taking place on a show, right? Okay, and then the final one is when we close the pot test, let's have a test close in there. We'll teach that. It's in the flip chart notes. We'll role play that one out a little bit better. That way you get feedback of their level of interest. Other than that, I'm so proud of you. Man, you got thank you, respect. Right, you pretty much got like 80% of this nailed down, okay, and we're going to get this thing together, so congratulations. Okay, so now, you don't want to make the same mistakes again, right? You want to improve on your next show, right? Yes. Okay, so what we want to do then is we want to have a specific assignment because we want to work together so that your closing rate can go from 25% to 35% to 50%. Okay, that's what we really want. Half the dinners you're closing. Okay, so let's work on this. I'm going to give her an assignment and say, can we have a conversation on Friday?
We sure can.
Okay, what time? And this is what a pro does, books an appointment from an appointment. You with me? The most money you make is on the feedback and having people making the recommendation, getting them to buy in, follow them up, making them accountable so that we're bridging communication. It's all about great communication. What we're going to talk about next week is how we can retain people long enough and a little bit longer so they can get excellent in this business. Okay? We're also going to talk about management next week. How we can manage an enterprise of a team for sustained growth. Okay? But before we get into that, we want to announce some winners, and we also want to summarize what our fun play is going to be. What's better than homework? Fun play, right? Okay, so we got some fun play that we're going to be doing here. So, you know when we talked about your call with your partner? You need to do that, all right? And I'm not telling you have to do it. You just need to do that so you can be refreshed and integrate. Why do you need to book 5 shows? Right? You know what? If you're part-time, you don't need a full calendar, but you need to have a regiment of booking 2 shows a day, whether it be 2 times a week, 3 times a week, 5 times a week. That's the regiment. Okay? And each and every one of you, if you're booking 5 a week, you're cooking what? 2 at least a week. That's pretty much minimum part-time. You want to listen to the ice calls? Who wants to listen to the ice calls? Raise a hand. Yeah? Do you? If you didn't raise your hand, raise your hand. So, okay, good. I'm tricking ya. Okay, we're almost done. Don't worry about it. Okay. So you're going to do the same stuff, okay? If you haven't gone to the Macy's thing, you know what? Go do it. Don't go online. If you don't walk through the store, go online. Go to Williams-Sonoma. See the cookware, the copper cookware that they're selling for $1,500 a set for 4 pieces. And it gets you so mad, you're going, we got to raise our prices. Right? When you see the differences. But you got to know the feature, benefit, and the disadvantage of this thing. Now here's the other ones that are going to be. I'm going to make a note. We'll follow up with an email, but write this stuff down, okay? You're going to cook a show with the stock program brochure, and you're going to use it as we recommended. Why? Because you're going to get more people excited about the stock program, okay? If you don't have this, okay, talk to your dealer. There's a SKU number on the back. You can find the SKU number up here. Okay? So cook a show using the stock program brochure. Number 2, you're going to role play the open house invitation. One person speaks, the other person listens. This is so important, guys. All you got to do is train your people to become excellent at inviting. Okay? Role play objections to the opportunity. Because of time constraints here today, we didn't go through this. Okay? Role play the objections. I'm not a salesperson. I don't have the time. Do I have to buy to the set to sell the set? Okay? We want to do on your next, this is an easy one. On your very next referral sheet, I want you to put 2 stars next to the high probability team players, the high probability talent scouts, the high probability recruits. You got it? Right. Don't just look for customers. Customer is a one-time thing. A recruit is a many, many time thing. Okay, so start qualifying. Who do you know that could have fun wearing this apron? Okay, rather than who do you know that needs to make money? Wrong question. Okay, all right, and then the next one is you're going to use the evaluation form and you're going to evaluate somebody's show. Isn't that exciting? Isn't it exciting? Here's the deal. Okay, of course you got your joy play going on, right? That's all good stuff. Did you learn something? Yeah. You guys have a lot of like juicy nuggets here. You want to start applying on your dinners little by little. Go back on these notes. This is fun. Graduation next week. I'm so proud of you. You're 3/4 way there. Graduation next week. Let's give yourself a round of applause. Okay, keep on clapping. This is your new Salad Master chant. You're going to go, whoa, yes, we change lives. Let's do that again. Clap, 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 clap. Whoa, yes, we change lives.